After a spectacular lower bracket final, Starbits have earned their spot in the promotion relegation matches alongside Telacy Esports. Now there's only one thing left to decide. Who is the best team in EMEA Master Division here for Season 8? I'm Jeff, joined once again here by Spectreon as we get into your first of 4 grand finals, 10 weeks of work leading to this one match.
That it does. Of course, this match has already happened twice before in FACEIT League Season 8. First time in the regular season, I believe a 3-0 for Starbits, except no, if I'm not much mistaken. Second time, only yesterday, I believe, where Telacy able to win 3-1 in pretty dominant fashion. This time, Starbits looking to repeat that first result. That being said, on the form that they're in, with the form that Slowdive specifically is in, it's a very real possibility here, and Telacy can't coast off the feeling of success they had from their upper bracket win. They need to be 100%. They need to be locked in, else they will get absolutely blown away.
Yeah, I mean, and with Starbits, I mean, they're able to make the number 1 seed bleed time and time again. And that upper bracket final was very, very close. Though, you know, I mean, Telacy proving their dominance against both of your lower bracket finalists here earlier. And now see if they can finally, for the first time, claim a championship. I mean, for the first time in this org's history, not the org as far as the name of Telacy, but this roster and the players that this team is built around. But you know what? We'll get to talking about this roster and the crazy history here of Lars and Telacy and their past. But first, I want to talk about Season 9 here, Spec. We have registration is open right now here for Season 9 of FACEIT League. You, and I mean anybody out there can go sign up here for Season 9 and get a team, fight your way to the top, and perhaps we end up casting you on this very channel in these very grand finals one season from now.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw that ad that played a second ago. The team finder is now active. Be you a team captain looking for that flex DPS to round out your roster, or be you a player just looking to get into the scene, you can now list your heroes, your role, your skill level, your availability, everything that a player or team could need to figure out if you guys will be the right match. And of course, starting May 30th, so not too far in the future whatsoever, your FACEIT League Season 9 could start now.
Oh, and I was going through and digging through that team finder myself. It really is quite robust and it adds a lot of personality. One of my favorite things about it is you can kind of find the style of team that you want to play with. It's not just, letters as far as, okay, we need role, you play a role, feels very robotic, very, lack of personality, lack of humanity. No, this team finder really instills like, hey, these are the days we play. This is the vibe we're going for. This is the kind of team that we are. Really, really cool stuff that they've added here leading into this Season 9. Once the registration is now open for that, y'all go sign up.
Yeah, are you triple blocking or just trying to vibe check your way into OWCS? Have to wait and see, because of course all this is for a chance to play in the big leagues, to play in OWCS promotion relegation tournaments. This is the way to get into that promotion spot. This is what these two teams have made it their mission to do, and what Telacy and Starbits will be doing after this. But let's focus on the here. Let's focus on the now. Telacy, we've been speaking about how the org's history has kind of played out, but I'll give the floor to you, Jeff, as to the details of it.
Well, this team has basically been playing under another name for the majority of their career, and under that name of areas that they were always the bridesmaid, never the bride, has kind of been my philosophy on this team. And then this goes back to their debut season, all the way back to Season 3 when they fought in Expert Division. They weren't even in Master Division yet, but they were able to make it to those grand finals in Expert Division, guaranteeing their promotion, where they have been in Master Division ever since. But even then, even in that Expert Division Grand Finals, they come in second place. Feels like this squad, led by Lars at the helm, has always managed to make it to the top, but never quite able to stand alone on top of the mountain.
Yeah, they've been inching towards that finals spot. They've been inching towards that championship. As you mentioned, third, second, first. Now have to wait and see whether it appears, but I gotta say, in the form they're in, it's looking like it could do. icav, a player who we need to highlight. His Cassidy, we've kind of mentioned it before, but it needs to be seen to be believed. Lars as well on the Zarya, it feels like hands down the best in the region. And the backline of Johnowich and Teksol, DPS players in themselves. A hugely impactful roster, so well-rounded. And with the addition of SXJ as well, it's just elevated them from bridesmaids, perhaps into brides. Of course, before they get there, though, they do have to beat Starbits. And we've just seen what level they're playing at, what level Slowdive, is playing at.
Oh, and I can't wait to see Slowdive versus icav. That is going to be a top tier matchup. I mean, we were just talking yesterday that icav is potentially the best hit scan in the entire region in Path to Pro, at least, right? Until you get to the OWCS level, but below that, I think icav has that crown. Although Slowdive is gunning for it, and given the performance we saw against Good Guys just moments ago, Slowdive is on track here to match potentially the meanest Cassidy in the West.
Indeed. I mean, the Soj versus the Cass is always an interesting matchup. Of course, both these hit scans probably will some point be forced over to the other character, so I think I'm curious to see how they play out, trying to match the other style as well. And the thing as well about Telacy is that they're probably the most likely team to play that Cat Bastion, often with icav on that Cassidy to boot. So will Starbits be able to deal with that, mitigate that with the Majin Diva, or will they end up falling? Have to wait and see as we get ready to head into the map, into the vetoes.
I kind of highlighted the flex support matchup in our previous matchup, but I want to just so in here because you're going to have Dockiy taking on Teksol, probably mostly in the Kirikos. Teksol is another one of those just high lethality support players. You know, it feels like a support player that's really got some DPS running in their veins. You know, like they know when to take those angles, they know when to get aggressive. Will be that Kiriko that just like shows up and flanks you out of nowhere, and you're like, hey, there's a Kiriko, oh, you're dead. Right, and then they just swift step out and suddenly Telacy have a 5-4 lead in the team fight. Right, Teksol is that kind of a player. I mean, but we've seen it from the other side from Starbits as well.
Yeah, Lijiang Tower going to be the map of choice. Telacy open up with a hazard ban, heavily targeting Majin's hero pool. Lars very unlikely to play that unless he particularly feels like he has to. Much more likely to be sticking on the Zarya, where possible. Starbits respond with a Pharah ban into SXJ. Again, it makes sense. Much more likely that Steinman's going to be the one playing that than your own counterpart of Rav on Starbits, who will just want to stick onto the Tracer. But noticeably, it does leave that Cat Bastion open. Telacy won't play it everywhere, but they have been known to play it, and Starbits have floated that in the veto. See if that's a mistake or not, as we get ready to head in.
I will say Lijiang doesn't feel like the strongest place to use the Cat Bastion, so I can understand Starbits feeling like, hey, we don't get max value if we ban out either of those two heroes here. Let's just try to see if we can beat it. Although, with Champions Clash, we've seen that come back to bite teams. SSG, I'm thinking of here. We saw an interview with Christopher where Christopher was like, yeah, we just tried to match it. We just tried to not like mirror the Cat Bastion, but we thought we could beat it, and we were going to save that important ban for later on in the series. Yeah, that did not work out for SSG. They end up just getting stomped out of the tournament. So you got to be careful. This is a risky play here from Starbits to try to just let Telacy play the Bastion if they really want to.
Like I said, not a guarantee by any means, but it could come out if the feeling so takes them. Hovering the Vendetta right now is SXJ. I'd be very surprised if they actually end up rolling out on it. Instead, the Catchton, yeah, this is much more standard. This is the combo that Telacy have found their most success on. Lars on the Diva there to be anything but a target. Imagine on the Zarya looking for survivability, frontline damage into Lars. See if it works out, however, as we get our grand final started.
This is hilarious because I would think Majin's best hero is the Diva and Lars' best hero is the Zarya. And they are flip-flop at the moment. Anyway, SXJ is setting up right above the spawn. Look how fast SXJ was able to get into this position, and Starbits haven't even been able to like show their faces yet. Finally, it's going to be Dockiy and Nyx trying to speed over to the point, see if they can draw some aggro and some ire away from that front door, see if Starbits can even move into the courtyard.
In terms of map control, Starbits have no map control. I've been able to walk into the courtyard though finally, and icav goes down on a bit of an island, not the start that Telacy were looking for, and Starbits getting first cap off that.
Starbits rewarded for their patience, and immediately, we'll steal control of the point with that beautiful first blood. And of all the players to get caught out, I would not have expected icav to be the first to fall in this series.
Cassidy very likely to be a victim here. No survival cooldowns, really. If you don't get cleanse, you don't get matrix, you kind of just have to take the L. This time, though, a little bit more safe, and it's SXJ the one getting involved.
Putting shots down towards the Slowdive, Cassidy. Kind of hoping they didn't have any cooldowns or anything to save them, but just some good cover. Oh, the Deadeye not even required to get Lars out of back, and you're able to catch icav at the back end of that ultimate. Even a beautiful headshot onto the retreating Telacy to try to get more exit picks. The Starbits win fight 2.
Lars goes for the reset, but it takes him a hot second as Slowdive neglects to headshot him. 50% already, and Starbits look like they're pretty firmly in the driver's seat here. Kutsune Rush online, Pulse Bomb to boot. Telacy yet to finish any ultimates, and Lars' side, the Diva, is not his jam anymore. Over to the Zarya, over to his comfort pick. Will it work out any better, though?
Yeah, all is now right with the world. Majin's in the Diva, Lars is in the Zarya. I feel a little bit more at peace. Consider Rush available from Starbits' defense. Telacy still slow burning up to that, but that doesn't mean they're going to take their time. They're still going to just get aggressive right into the backline, trying to win this in the neutral. But Johnowich gets cut down. SXJ with no more tether, no more lifeline.
Really rough here. icav gets this one. More needed, more possible. Melee connects. Dockiy could have been next on the docket, but instead the cleanup will come through. 85% left to go. Johnowich will have the touch. That much at least is guaranteed. But Starbits x Hypnos, if they find themselves winning this fight, will go up 1-0 in relatively frictionless fashion here in our grand finals. Really not what I expected at all here, Jeff.
Quite an explosive start for Starbits. They are trying to beat those two players that icav killed back to the point, but they can't do so. SXJ ends up off the side. And looked like the tether might have just broke. Johnowich ends up down. Starbits at loss 2. Despite a Kitsu in play here from Telacy. Deadeye doesn't connect for icav, but Lars is able to get one. Down to players. Soundbearer invested from Starbits. And you're just going to continue to make life hard here on Telacy. Rav with a pair of kills. Overtime burn. It's Lars with no choice but to yeet themselves onto the point. Starbits take round 1.
Because Cashin was a non-factor, to be honest. We spoke about how, floating it in the veto might be a mistake. How it punished teams like Space Station Gaming. Not Starbits by the looks of things. Telacy really not able to find much value from the turret forms. The Matrix of Majin was there anytime a good engage was perhaps found. But I'm very curious to see whether they stick on this permanently. Because, sure, Night Market, plenty good for it. But if you really want to play Cashin on Lijiang Tower, you go to Gardens. We're here now. Whilst the instinct is to immediately lose after, which means to immediately swap rather after you lose, then you don't have to do that here. So whether they stay, whether they swap, indicative of how confident they feel. But it seems like they are entirely off it. They're just back on this area.
That answers that. And like you said, I mean, Gardens is the best point for the Cashin, but Telacy want none of it. They're going to go into their own variation of cool. It's going to be the Zarya out of Lars and the icav Cassidy. Amidst the rest of the core comp. Majin matching the Zarya. In fact, we're going to get a mirror here, which feels like it should favor icav and Lars. We get a battle for Dojo to start things off first, like they're on Gardens. icav tried to cover that side, but Majin just appears on the flank, gets the kill. Lars gets a more important one, arguably, though. You take Dockiy out of the fight. You take with the carry down, which is no sustain. Starbits clapping back a little bit have made things interesting, but Telacy are in control.
Ooh, but control for how long? It's by no means comfortable, and Starbits still have control of the objective. No bubbles for Lars, and no charge means that the Zarya's impact is limited. But still enough to take care of Nyx to find the cleanup. It's a little bit awkward, but they'll get first control. I think a lot of that was getting Rav solo early on in the fight and taking care of the Kitsu, the Kiriko rather, at the same time. No stable for the Tracer means that it was essentially the same as getting the kill. And so as Starbits square up once again on the outside, looking in.
All the way on the outside. Johnowich will first at least to blink out with the boot. Oh, no. Flashbang. You just open Rav off the side. Oh my goodness. icav, I mean, really just bringing the 10-foot tall cowboy into the fight. My, oh my. Telacy win that one.
Lovely work with Rav, who gets about as unlucky as you can humanely get. If there's any way of stopping your momentum, other than a C9, it is probably falling off the map. So Telacy, in the momentum game, would love to get something like that. Also good as well. Kitsu available to punish the bridge, or just to fight the choke if they walk around right side. Bridge walk is coming through though. Lars takes a little bit of damage. Will be able to find himself safely back on point.
coming from the far left-hand side, created a bit of a crossfire. Next exchange ends up right in the middle of it all. Touch late for right before actually the Teksol Kitsu's thrown into play. Dockiy has the response. Dueling Kitsus or Zarya's just going toe-to-toe with each other at the moment. Raps tries to get in and pulls, but icav was having none of it. Beautiful headshot. And a small window of opportunity. icav sees perfectly. That looks like that is the grab of all time there from Lars. That was not special. But still, you know what? Despite that, Teksol's vicious aim coming into play here. And the sound barrier very late, as well as a Graviton Surge out of Starbits. Majin get one? I don't picture you're going to get much more than that. It's an overtime fight, like you got to try something. But this is all Telacy.
Shoes on the other foot now. Telacy firmly in the driver's seat after a bit of an awkward start. Lars somehow nene grabs and still wins the fight, which you'll take absolutely. Majin connects it onto 2 and almost punishes. But when all's said and done, it's Telacy who got 1 and 1 here. And now on the Zarya mirror, heading towards a map, especially like Control Center. You can't be feeling too confident if you're Starbits. This is Lars' hero. This is his domain. And there's not many changes you can make to make it any harder on him. Oh, doing Rab 30 now this time production.
The head of the recall, right? We've all been there where like your recall ends up over the gap.
Yeah.
Was trying to duck around. I mean, really, honestly, good job from Telacy to recognize that Rab was a bit out of position, and so they just send multiple players. God, icav is so good. So they just send multiple players on that side. One of the things I talk about in Overwatch that kind of separates the good from the great is being able to create a mismatch amidst the team fight. So even when you're in 5v5, creating a situation where you make a 2v1 or you create a 3v1 by smart rotations. Rab found themselves caught in a 1v2 there on Gardens. Really well done by Telacy. Majin gonna swap to a Manga here as we head into Control Center. It's just getting burned down. Lars already 3/4 charged. Majin's got to back away. Nyx gets caught. This is looking like a Telacy first cap.
Yeah, the Stomp unfortunately is cleansed, and if that happens, not a lot of Majin can really do into Zarya with bubbles. Majin has to try and extricate himself. It's very aggressively pushed up, and the push through could continue from Telacy, but instead they decide to give a certain amount of respect. Telacy choosing lines on the point now. Really just icav has to toggle between 2 angles. Can't do that if he's dead.
Oh, and Slowdive wins an up-close duel against the Cassidy. Gets an icav Cassidy. Partly on the back of a well-placed disruptor shot. Okay, that looked a bit awkward there from our Druid Manga. S-tier skin, by the way. Love the skin.
Has to book it into the wall, get their damage resistance, hide the headshot hitbox. Nothing that Lars can really do to find that final blow. Starbits, Kitsune rush engage here. Probably the name of the game and exactly what they will in fact do.
They're gonna get aggressive. Teksol has the retort. XSJ trying to get a pulse into the mix, but it's Lars who finds the kill. Lars is like, come play in the Kitsu. Please come play in the Kitsu. Majin obliges. Rap throws in the pulse, but didn't quite hit the mark. Perhaps it got bubbled. It was hard to see. But this is kind of an awkward fight. I don't feel like anybody quite has the edge. Okay, a solo grab on to Dockiy. That will give Telacy the edge.
Dockiy must be the alpha threat, but it doesn't seem to matter as the fight is still ongoing. Starbits throw themselves in even without their Kiriko and find the result that you'd really expect. 44% is where the buck's going to stop. A lovely grab from Lars, I have to say. Recognizing where you could use a big ult in a small scenario to create the win that you need. Starbits, though, got 4 Slowdive have to respect him, but the Jedi too!
icav ends up in front of the spawn doors. How did you get there, you sneaky, sneaky Cassidy? But you know what? Rab is on fire today. So 3v3. And Starbits are able to at least get a little bit of an opening here. Slowdive with an overclock. See if they can just win this fight outright. Okay, they're going to hold on to the ultimate at least for now. Lars at 100 charge is backing away.
Yeah, it can be brought back in though when you realize you're up resources. No point just trying to battle for no reason. Important now for Lars to hold bubble for as long as possible. If he drops it, he's getting insta-caged.
Good, that's one bubble used. Starbits rotate up towards high ground. SXJ tried to get the pulse bomb in there, but misses. It's going to be sound barriers out from both teams. Majin look like they're in a bit of trouble, but Slowdive pops the overclock, slides in to help their Mog out. Continues to put the pressure and see if they can cut off the retreat here. Majin goes in for a big slam right at the choke, and Johnowich is denied an exit.
70-80%. This is last fight territory here, Jeff. Starbits have the cage, they have the pulse, they have the Kitsune Rush to punish. Tennessee needs something to happen. It needs to happen basically now, else they won't even be able to get a proper touch going.
93 to that Kitsune, not quite close enough. The cage fight there is just going to deny anybody. Majin is the bouncer, and nobody is allowed in. Telacy were not up to dress code. Starbits will take away map 1, barring the biggest miracle you've ever seen. Barely even going to get a touch to SXJ's recall's force. Here comes the Doomfist out of Lars. SXJ gets pulsed. As Rav continues to excel. Kitsu over the point. Way better placed here from Starbits, but icav still finds the work. icav, the miracle worker that Telacy needed. Haven't they actually done this? Johnowich is able to take down Majin. Johnowich, Teksol, and icav are still in this fight. Lars is down, but the Cowboy is here to take over. SXJ will find Nyx. Teksol will deliver the final blow, and Telacy get the miracle they needed.
icav can turn water to wine. I've seen it. I swear. I believe it. He's just a second coming. A ridiculous recontest. You're on Doom, for Christ's sake. You have no chance there. You have to sell your Tracer even for the touch, and Starbits now the ones on the back foot. It's Starbits ones who don't have control, who don't have ults, and now who have to clutch up or lose them out.
It was such a perfectly placed Kitsu out of Dockiy versus Teksol's like desperate attempt, but it's just icav. icav stays in that Kitsu. Now has the twirling Deadeye here to create some space. Slides in the background, lands the flashbang forward, the recall, but Rav gets the kill. That was another one of those mismatches, and still Rav wins out the fight over icav despite being in a 1v3. 99 overtime fight. Final one for the match. Starbits get a free flip. Can Telacy pull another miracle out of their hat?
Right time, you need ults if possible.
Overclock is in play here from Slowdive, and Telacy, you're not getting those ults up. Slowdive's gonna catch Jono and make sure they don't get the beat either. There was one pulse bomb in, but it is Slowdive all day, every day here in Final Fight. 3 Ps for the win on Lijiang Tower.
Back and forth as you like it. Starbits x Hypnos though today on top. I mean, icav, you feel like he's earned it after heroics like that, but Starbits walk in early kills in their favor. And they convert the opportunity that they are given. Beautiful work from the Cassie though. I mean, you see this and nobody does it like him. Nobody's repeating this performance.
That was a miracle play. That was a miracle play. I stand by that. Telacy had a far weaker Kitsu, and like it went from White Room down onto the point, but everybody's out in the open to use that. Versus Starbits just covers the entire area of the objective. I felt like all 5 players from Starbits were in the middle of that Kitsu, were able to take advantage of the 50% extra cooldown speed, the 50% extra attack speed. When Telacy, it was really just icav. Like Lars was playing in it a little bit, but kind of got forced out of it. It ends up going down early in that fight before they're able to really get value out of that Kitsune Rush. icav alone pulls out the miracle. I mean, it's nothing short.
Yeah, so much value from the Cassidy, but somehow not enough. It can be heartbreaking if you are Telacy, but to be honest, I feel that the fact they got to stay in after this like spawn cage, the fact you got to like play the game after this is nothing short of ridiculous. You have no right to be allowed to recontest, but Slowdive's clock simply too much to ask. And Johnowich not charging into that sound barrier in time, unfortunately, means there is simply nothing to do. So, lovely start. Both teams show they're firing on all cylinders, but Telacy now the ones who can control the veto yet further, maybe will help them eke out a trade back.
Right, Telacy coming through winner's bracket. Granted them a first map pick and first hero ban there on Lijiang Tower. That will continue here. So, I mean, that was their pick here in this first to 4. And certainly it was Slowdive who got the last laugh, despite the incredible effort from icav. I mean, just watching these 2 hit scans, this is a treat in of itself. Never mind the everything else going on here. Never mind the amount of blessings that were given from the other 8 players in the lobby.
I mean, everyone in this lobby is obviously fantastic, but
So
by and away, when it's come to hitting the shots, it has been those two who have been on top and will very likely continue to as we head onto the hit scan centered shores of Rialto. Seeing how it plays out before, seeing how Slowdive plays on this map before, but Telacy, maybe they didn't watch the previous series because they're taking their opponents there.
Well, you know what? We did talk about this being a good home for the cash, right? And that is something we didn't see out of good guys. So where Starbits, you know, coming into Rialto, coming into the, you know, what was their map pick in that previous series, does barely end up, you know, working out for them. Yeah, Telacy now choosing it here in this round. But they're not going to be able to play their jetpack hat. So the Starbits gamble of foregoing any bans on jetpack hat or Bastion in map 1 come into fruition here as they're able to ban it out in Rialto.
I feel like it was Telacy angling for a cat angle here, to be honest, with the Diva ban.
100%. And I think, but why didn't you protect your backline?
Because they also have to worry about the tank, right? They wanted to take care of the Majin Diva. They wanted to be able to go for turret cycles and just ruin the day of everybody who's there, but I think they thought that even if they decided to ban Cat or Bastion, you'd still be happy because Majin can't play the Majin hero, and you can mirror like Hazard and still feel comfortable. You can maybe even go Zarya, just win the frontline trade. But I think the goal here, the ideal goal, is to be able to play the Cat and have it work out in your favor. That won't happen, so they have to settle for the consolation prize. May still be enough because obviously that Lijiang Tower was down to the absolute wire. Your opponents lose what could be their best tool, and you still have yours, which is the icav Cassidy.
And who knows, maybe it is all a bait, right? Like, you're able to protect the Zarya, and you're, like, as you just said, keep icav in his best hero. So maybe this actually was Telacy playing the long game, and they're like, haha, you only thought we wanted you to ban off the Castion. But really, keeping Lars and the Zarya and keeping icav and the Cassidy is way more important to us.
Yeah, it's really quite powerful, but then again, it's not always played here. icav typically will, but we can't expect to see it, especially on first point. Seen some teams still like to just go where to make a spawn peaks, but doesn't appear to be manifesting. And the chat is a lot more friendly than it was in the previous game.
Oh. As much, it's like, I love you, Lars. We saw this the last time. We saw this in the upper bracket final too. Like, there is a lot of love. There will be some smack talk as well, but there's also a lot of love between these two.
Offensive comp about what we'd expect. In fact, exactly what we'd expect. There's no reason for Starbits to get funky at this stage of the tournament, right? We've seen them play this map before. We've seen them play it today. We know what they're going to do. Telacy, basically the same look, but with the Cassidy, more frontline damage, means that Majin will have a slightly harder time at Slowdive. The pick potential, normally too much for teams to bear.
I mean, it's like Slowdive has the advantage until Telacy close the gap. Like at this angle right at the start, this is where Slowdive has the advantage, right? icav is working with some fall off damage. You know, he can't really find an angle from down here. Now, if icav gets to that high ground, then suddenly you got to be scared, and Starbits knows it. You can see they're preemptively backing away to make sure they're not going face to face with Cassidy.
Cassidy waits for his tank to create the space for him before he opens up. SXJ though taken care of by Nyx, and means that there's no chance for icav to even play this fight. Your Tracer is dead. You just have to wait for the respawn.
What great peel out of that back line. Man, anytime you're Lucio, you can just keep head on a swivel, turn around, and land the shots onto the Tracer, you're doing good.
Easy work there from Nyx, who's been a stellar main support for feels like Donkey's years now. Changed his name, of course, a second ago from CNX. But now, 1 HP under pressure from the play. He just killed.
Nyx is able to get out, though it does open up some space here on the front line, right? Starbits are just getting forced back one by one. Majin fighting for some of that map control back, and Telacy obliged. They're going to rotate through the bottom level, go towards the mega courtyard. Good wall in from Majin, try to isolate Lars, but no fatality on the back. Lars is able to move in, goes all the way to mega courtyard, trying to go for the high ground. XSJ returns to the front lines, see if they can help to get their Cassidy here, but icav got stalked, got caught, not able to make the rotation, but Lars and Teksol return. They get a pair, doubling down on the kills. 4v3, 5v3, excuse me, the other way around. 4v1, 4v0, Telacy win the fight. That's where we're at.
Indeed it is. I mean, Starbits Hypnos delve a little bit too deep, a little bit too far into the jaws of the dragon there and get snapped on pretty fast. Sure, icav dies, but it doesn't matter in the end. Recontest is here. The 66 centimeters, all you've got to work with. Oh my god!
Oh! Wow. Well, that'll do it. That'll do it. Telacy, find 3, SXJ finding 3. Bad beat.
I think Majin is right in that. Telacy, you spend 3 ults there for just
double support ult at that.
It's a bit sloppy. Sure, they win the fight fast, but I don't think they needed to make it all that chaotic. Lars tries to get an early pick. It will not materialize, and so Telacy on the back foot, even though the cart is in their possession.
They got to use absolutely blew their economy there. Rap with an opening pick on a Lars. Doesn't even need the ult, and Slowdive wins the head-to-head against their hit scan matchup. So the Starbits continue. I mean, the rich get richer here.
Yeah, that they do. 4 ults now for them to play with as they wish. Telacy, this is pretty tricky. The cross is always a bit risky, especially with a Cassidy who doesn't have the extra mobility. Clock though active, mirrored by the downfall.
Downfall won't get anything. I think Dockiy had to use their Suzu there to avoid getting looted. Slowdive with the OC. Was holding people with big. icav with a long range headshot. There was even some fall off damage on that one. Still, it's enough for the kill. This will leverage a Telacy fight win, despite icav themselves being felled in the exchange.
icav just pops Deadeye. It feels like figuratively, at least, hits the headshot onto his opposite number, and because of that, it's so much easier. Flash as well, more than enough to take care of Rav, even if it's not he himself dealing the final bullet. It's him who's able to secure it. Telacy, Deadeye still active, Cass now back and insta-popping it.
From the high ground, considering a rush from Starbits down low, means icav has to respect it, has to back away, can't get too stubborn. Soundbiter invested here from the defense as well. Oh, Majin makes good on it. I was worried they weren't going to get value out of it. I was wrong. Majin got right into the thick of things, found this soft, squishy underbelly of this Telacy rank.
Yeah, I think starts off with icav not quite looking where he's going, walk into the jagged wall, and then after that, it's all falling over like dominoes. Telacy, though, have finally got to a point where their ults are a little bit more even, and so they should be able to, if they do square up, take this fight off the back of their backline. Majin hasn't been fantastic with these downfalls in this series. This time, though, tries to make it different.
That's a good one. Yeah, I believe, no, Slowdive was not caught in it. He did catch Lars in that one, but it's actually icav who gets the kill. The downpour looks so good out of Majin. I thought you were going to be able to get the hazard. No, you got to get past icav first.
Indeed you do, and so far, map not quite working out like Starbits had maybe hoped. 3 minutes, healthy enough time bank. Starbits, nothing in the bank. Telacy will be able to chill. Hazel first, beat for an extension if they so wish. And of course, icav is always there to make your tanks life an absolute mystery. This is tricky for the hold. They kind of need a soak there.
Majin's in a bad spot. Okay, they're going to leave up through the window. The downpour's going to catch him. Majin at half health is just rooted in. Hey, they will not get anything. Slowdive not able to get a pick. Nobody able to get a pick. This is all Telacy all day.
Majin's just not allowed fun. If he tries to scale early, he's going to get flashed and right-clicked. If he tries to play slow, it feels like icav's going to just kill his entire team before him. Beat still available from Telacy. Starbits have nothing for the recontest.
Thrown in, Slowdive try to see if they can just force Lars out with some damage. But Majin's taking entirely too much damage. Johnowich has got the beat in. Oh, it's a beautiful song for Telacy. What a victory here on Rialto, as they will put 3 points on the board.
I think it's Gantuan time as well if Starbits are able to mirror that out. You don't often see crazy finishes on Rialto. It feels like you don't often see finishes at all, but 2.25 minutes has got to feel good, especially after this ult trade goes so heavily in favor of Starbits, even if the fight doesn't. And yeah, you kind of do just win fights if you ult 3 times and your opponent ults once. It's kind of how the game works. Telacy now, just out on the defense, and to be fair, icav can be a little bit trickier to maneuver here. Just not very capable of falling back when on the Cassie. So much of defense is about giving space where it's due, take it back later on. So do watch out to see how the rotates work out, because one slip up could cause Starbits to get their foot onto the door nice and early. If not, though, I mean, we're seeing so far how things are working out, and we're seeing the DPS absolutely unload on the front line. 18-2, by the way, for Simon. Good lord, that Tracer is doing value.
icav 12-4 in their own right. And I mean, it's Lars who's actually got top damage in the lobby, although very, very close between Lars and Majin as far as just raw damage output between our two hazards.
Indeed. Feels like it has to play more proactive to make up for side of play that's going through.
Yeah.
Some teams like to go for gimmick Widowmakers here. Thankfully, haven't seen it just yet. But again, we spoke about how this sightline probably better for Slowdive. There's basically no contest here for Telacy. They've already set up themselves where they want to take this fight.
Yeah, they're already back in courtyard. They're not even trying to peek early. Although as I say that, icav is kind of playing this high ground a little bit. Did look like they took one railgun shot there. There's a bit of an exchange with Dockiy. But this is quickly going to become a very hard place to hold, right? No mobility here for icav. So
very real chance the hazard died there, went down to a sliver of HP, able to back out at least for now, still stable, but in the meanwhile, the rest of his team, while stabling him, weren't able to support the angles, and so Rav now in a tricky situation on the flank.
Oh yeah, Johnowich is gonna catch him. They're not able to kind of get themselves out of that sticky spot. Now Majin from a deep angle found a good ingress. Trying to catch icav, but they just can't. The Cassidy will not be taken down. The unflappable icav stands tall.
That he does. There's an absolute adamantium, that boy. Time back now, minute and a half. Rotted rail online for Slowdive, but loses it, finds no connection. Teksol closest to the Kitsune Rush. They are going to probably in some damage onto Lars to try and generate it, but they have to give respect to the high ground take currently manifesting.
Drops down the anchor cart. They're going to let Slowdive kind of have that. Slowdive jumps down to meet on cart. Interesting choice. This is what's called to put all damage on Lars. Now the move into the back line. SXJ goes in, pulls on the point, catches Slowdive. icav is able to get one with the Deadeye before going down, and a defensive Kitsune Rush secures the rest.
Not sure the Kitsune was even needed. By the duration, probably not. The Pulse got the opener, the Deadeye as well. Not boosted by the speed. So a bit of a mistake there from Teksol. Maybe one that Dockiy has a window to punish. As Telacy spend, Starbits don't. We've seen this before, Jeff, but it didn't quite go in Starbits' favor. See if this will be any different.
This Kitsune Rush to work with. All right, we're going to throw that in from the high ground. It does cross right over on top of Majin. Telacy disengaging all the way to the point A chook. It's a beautiful disengage. And just going to wait out that Kitsu. Overclock in from Slowdive, though, and you've taken this awesome angle. You catch Teksol from that long side. Teksol was just caught sleeping. I mean, completely did not expect that wide swing.
What you can do is just wait for your carry to come back. It is that simple, and so Telacy just aren't allowed to play the game for the better part of what feels like a minute. Finally, walking back in, but so deep is Lars going to take an absolute boatload of damage.
Johnowich blocked by the wall. Great wall from Majin. Now Nixon's going to get a 5-player sound barrier into the mix. Then Starbitch surge forward to try to take the bridge at this point A. With Lars just gate kept outside. There you go. That should be the point of the march. Still about a meter, point 2 to go. There's the cleanup. There's the cap.
There it is. Very healthy time bank as well. About the same from Starbits. Hypnos as they move through into the second phase of Rialto. Telacy there is constantly giving over first picks, and a brilliant jagged wall, as you mentioned, stops the Johnowich sound barrier from being able to be turned into an engage, purely stops the value of the downpour. Next goes to beat engage himself, and that's the fight.
Now, though, Starbits, once again, find themselves kind of down in the economy, although it's fairly neutral, but oh my god. icav just putting Rav into spawn immediately. They didn't even know what hit him.
It's like if Rav enters the zone of death around icav, he just immediately falls out the server. It's so unfortunate for him because there's not even much way of him knowing the cast is there, but just takes the L back to spawn. Starbits now forced to retake at an angle which is never that comfortable for anyone. As you mentioned, Jeff, the corner of death.
It's gonna be a inside approach. Majin and company from the inside of the Opera House now making a leap to the high ground to try to see if they can do anything, but Majin immediately forced back inside. Low health, they're just desperately now leaping away, throwing walls down, saying, please heal me, please heal me. Dockiy able to oblige. The container Russian play. Teksol drops a later Kitsu, and now here comes the counter punch out of Telacy. They're gonna go all the way into the first quarter, forcing out a Suzu. Lars throws it to downpour, able to catch Majin with that. Majin stuck in the corner, gets taken down. And then icav's accuracy once again on display. Slowdive popped an OC to try to swing this, but okay, I mean, you get two. You've made something out of this. Johnowich not able to beat. Slowdive gets out in one piece. I mean, that's almost a dub just if they survived.
It does make the refight generally easier, so if your Dockiy and Nyx didn't die so late, you'd have a very nice window here. Because they do have kind use a really good ult for nothing. Starbits won't be back at the same time as Telacy, and you want to have that clock now.
Exactly. I was going to say, Johnowich was already back, right? It was just sitting there waiting for like 5 seconds before Starbits were even able to engage. So, yeah, unfortunately, those two picks don't really net you much in the end. Lars will find a pick onto Rav. Yeah, all it gets you is no OC here for this fight. And you're trying to back away. icav with a Deadeye in this open space, just holding Starbits on the bridge.
And you're not going to get another Deadeye very likely before the end of the round. There's 45 seconds left to go. Pulse, miss, sure, but the downpour. Shot.
Oh, dive. Okay. 5v4, much needed pick. What? Rav tried to get it in. icav gets the read, gets the shot, rolls back to regroup with Jono. As Telacy swing back in for another defensive engage. Dropping it from the high ground. icav and Slowdive trading shots to Teksol, who lands one. Now a massive advantage for this defense with only 16 seconds left to go.
Simon dies. There's a way in at the very least for Starbits, but they're going to have to stay alive for, well, dear life. Telacy, still good ults. Starbits recognize this could be the end of their map 2. No route for it.
You do have that sound barrier to try to hold on here. Most important ultimate, I think, all line. Okay, you're going to go ahead and use that immediately. Johnowich is able to get theirs down. Rap's dying. Not ideal. Downpour in here from Lars. You got at least one. He caught off the point. Dockiy gets icav, though. Oh, that might have been just the ticket. Now, I mean, job's not done. You need more than that. And Slowdive's no longer in this fight. Rav not able to connect with the pulse bomb. Car rounding in the corner, but here comes SXJ to make sure an anchor. No cheeky back cap here. 3v3 fight for the point. Lars slices through Dockiy and is just going to punish Majin. Telacy tie us up here on Rialto.
That they do. Nice try there from Starbits, but simply not able to get themselves over the line. Telacy cleans it up, and a couple of late deaths from Rav. Of course, that overclock coming through from Slowdive. I think very much contributed towards that being the case, but I mean, with a 2 minute and almost a half time bank, then Telacy will always going to be the ones in the driver's seats, no matter how the attack was played from Starbits. So when all is said and done, as you mentioned, tied up 1-1. Remember, folks, this is a first 2-4. We'll be here for a little while still. And Telacy proving early on that they're making parity, that they're competitive with their opponents is a lovely boon to have. You do not want to be reverse sweeping, 3-4 maps in a row.
Oh, hey, and remember, friends, Telacy was one team fight away from just getting full held, right? Like, I mean, legit one team fight from getting full held on Rialto there, and they were able to turn that one around, and suddenly we have got a grand finals. We wouldn't have it any other way. We're locked up heading into map 3. It's going to be Starbits map pick when we return here from a short little break. Don't go away.
Start your climb to OWCS by joining FACEIT League. Gain competitive experience in weekly FACEIT League matches. Rise to the top in divisions balanced for your skill level. Learn more at fce.gg/FACEIT League.
Look alive, FACEIT fans. We're back 1-1, tied up between Telacy and Starbits in our Season 8 Grand Final. Of course, having lost the map, it's Starbits map pick, their first ban. They've taken us all the way to Runasapi. Now, Jeff, what do we think about that?
This is an interesting pick. I mean, it is their first time to get to choose the map here in this grand finals. And you're going to a place where it feels like we haven't seen nearly as much Runasapi as we have in the past, right? It's been a bit mixed between Runasapi and Esperanca. Runasapi feels like it has a little bit more variance to it, I would say. But you know, you can control a lot of space through the long streets in the initial fights, and then of course from the window fights into the courtyard. So I think the bans are going to play an enormous part on how these teams want to play this map out.
Yeah, I think the high grounds especially on
Exactly.
each round make such a big difference. Just don't really exist here, but the ban's going to be Soj, the ban going to be Baptiste. These are both very interesting, actually. Soj ban from Telacy, 100% makes sense. You've just
It makes a lot of sense on this map, right? Because you have those
yeah.
big long sight lines from the window into the courtyard and those long streets I was talking about, where the Soj would have a distinct advantage over a Cassidy.
Absolutely, and you know, on top of that, obviously you just have Slowdive playing absolutely lights out. Now the Bat ban, this is very curious to me because we haven't seen, in my opinion, Telacy play a lot of Baptiste. Kiriko is what we kind of expect to see, so maybe they have some information. Maybe they're just worried about a rank kind of bowling over what they want to play, but this one is the real question mark for me.
And of course, we did see Starbits banning first. So it couldn't be about the ban itself, but just as a support protect.
Yeah.
But it does feel, it is very unusual, right? We have certainly seen very, very little BAP. You know, I was talking about we've seen 35 different heroes over the course of Champions Clash. I think one of those absent is, in fact, a Baptiste.
Oh, we definitely saw Bap in Champions Clash.
Did we see some BAP?
Yeah, we saw Bap, Ryan, Tracer.
Oh, the
Cassidy,
Ryan comp. The Ryan
yeah.
comp. You're right. I forgot about the Ryan comp. I was like, we've seen like Kiri Judo. We've seen Anna Brick. We've seen all sorts of weird combos that I didn't remember the BAP. I didn't think about the Ryan comp. Good call, my friend. Good call.
A couple times as well where Landon would play it in Kiri ban scenarios. Because it's just the Landon hero. Listen, I don't play about Baptiste, okay? Springs, that one's for you. Right, looking in the comps now, seeing what we have in mind. Starbits, I mean, Majin on the Has is, I think, no big surprise. Nyx on the Cat so far, we haven't actually seen them roll out on it, I believe, ever, so expect that to perhaps change. Lars on the Roadhog, I would be surprised by. Zarya, maybe less so. This is entirely standard for them. They have not been hurt too much by these bans whatsoever. Slowdive on the Cassidy. Curious to see how this plays out.
Yeah, this is Slowdive playing into icav's best hero, make no mistake. But we do just kind of, you know, end up with nothing ever changes, right? We're right back into core, or at least variations thereof. Majin with a lot of burst damage here needs to try to play around the Lars bubble, see if they can find access onto icav or the squishy backline.
Slowdive has to play a lot more passively here than icav can. No bubbles to peel him out if he is in a sticky situation. Majin dives in deep, but instantly low HP.
And you know, thought they saw that opening. Does manage to get both bubbles out of Lars, so they're going to immediately violently back in again on cooldown. Slowly forcing Telacy back, see if they can open up some space for Starbits to work here in the streets. Slowdive with, I mean, good angles and it's under like just zero pressure, just free firing from that backline. Finally, it looked like SSJ, I'm guessing, was able to get in on that. But meanwhile, Majin up here up front, doing a lot of hurt. Slowdive does eventually find the first final blow in first blood and second with a nice headshot to finish off Lars.
Beautiful work. They're chasing out the Zarya. You allow that to survive, and the replay's pretty fast. Instead, free progress. You'll be threatening for forward spawns already. Telacy, things not quite going in their favor, and they decide to stop over to the full mirror match. So the only thing that matters is the execution. But Majin is kind of a has guy in my mind. Lars might be playing from behind, and of course the ult charge as well. Lesson.
Sticking on Majin, chases them back down low. And Deadeye out. Had one skull. We'll turn around and get Lars. You know, forego the skull on SXJ to turn around and get a more important target. And taking Lars down, I mean, it is just an easy walk into this cap.
They try and stagger the Kiri, but actually allow her out. It's a bit goofy, but such is life. Forward spawns already in your Starbits' favor. Ults ahead a little bit. Of course, as well. Pressing the go button first, I think, is name of the game. If they give Telacy time to charge into some of their own, they'll be able to match you.
Chelsea, it looks like trying to get aggressive first. They're going to try to hit go first, but nope. They wait it out. So we get dueling Kitsus over the point. Lars ends up down as Majin downpour comes in and locks Johnowich in place as well. I did not see that beat. I did not see that beat.
I did see the beats. It just didn't do anything. They were all stuck. And unfortunately, Lars had already died.
It was too late to save your tank.
Jagged Wall actually blocked the Suzy from coming through. Both were thrown out before either had landed. Not an interaction you see too often, but it sorely cost Telacy here, and they are getting absolutely steam ran here on this map.
Nix is going to just be engaged. Rav gets the stick. icav is gone. Now dancing around. They're going to follow up with a butte on Johnowich as well. Starbits continue to roll. I don't even think they've lost anybody yet. Has Starbits had a death?
I think they've had a death.
Maybe one?
Yeah, they definitely haven't won a fight. 7 minutes on the banquet, crossing the 130-meter mark. Telacy have had nothing to write home about, nothing to say, and Starbits free cruising.
Oh, man, have a Deadeye to work with. Oh, and a wall combined with a flashbang. You doom Johnowich. The Deadeye dooms SSJ. And Telacy are just feeling non-existent in this server. Lars comes up with the first, possibly the second kill of the map here for Telacy. They're lucky to get a touch here. Recall out. It's a vendetta out of icav just to try to hold the line. As soon as he prevents any deaths, Rav's going to get that kill. And Starbits are, wow. I mean, just moments away. They're moments away from speedrunning this map.
They still can finish the map in record time. This would be for sure the fastest. Oh!
Wow, that was gross. We had an awesome stick out of Rav, perfectly predicting SXJ's location after the recall. Kitsune Rush is now in play here from Teksol, but icav is down. You don't have your hitscan in the fight. Majin felled is the saving grace for this Telacy defense. They're hanging on by a thread. Lars was down to 1 bar of health in that exchange, but Telacy survived.
Rav sticks on the tracers have been brutal. And a full completion now needed from Telacy. 0 meters to 144 needed inside of 5 minutes. This is more than an uphill battle. This is mountain climbing. Let's hope they got Alex Honnold on the team, because Johnowich, the sound barrier, the only protection they got.
143 to 0. That's insane.
And mine boggles.
Deadeye out of Slowdive. He's gonna walk back towards jump pad. Drops down. What a crazy pathing on that Deadeye. I would not have been looking at jump pad for that Deadeye to emerge. Majin's gonna find 2 in this exchange. 4v3. Teksol just swift steps out. And Telacy have to give up more bot progress.
You will be back a smidge faster. Johnowich dying with the cast means that you will have the Lucio speed there all the time, but you have to give up the progress. It is that simple. Do have decent ults for the re-engage. Pretty want to beat first. Hope it gives you enough time to finish off that Kitsune rush.
Telacy has the pressure on them to fight their way through this. Starbits can kind of just sit and hold very defensible ground. icav working through the inside, regroups with the rest of the team here in main on the bot, forcing Starbits to get chased. I think Starbits are going to just actually try to pursue. I thought they might rotate through the water wheel, but they're just actually just chasing the bot down. So icav pops a Deadeye behind, and you'll find a kill under the tracer.
Nice work here from icav, doing what he needs to do and what he, as of yet, has failed to. Finding the frags, finding the cleanup, letting that 6-shooter sing. Forward spawn is going to be on the docket now, and importantly, doing it with just the 1 ult means that you'll be healthy enough in the ult trade versus your opposition. Cage, going to be high value here, but your opponent's 4 ults, the Deadeye on open space, the unmirrored Kitsune rush, you are by no means out of the woods just yet. You've just found your map.
Lars will stage up Majin, who swapped over to a D.Va, but immediately has to drop it and run away. Just like held D.Va for a moment, Dockiy kitsunes until he disengages. So they're going to try to fight it out in the street, but hey, you managed to get Starbits' Kitsune rush out of this fight, evening the ult economy here a little bit.
Takes all out, finds no value. Just have to find something now in the extended fight you've created.
Lars overrunning back from the Slowdive Deadeye. Is hiding around the corner. Oh, that is a boom, a lot of pressure, and a quick death there in Lars here on Runasapi. Now Starbits try to see if they can pursue, see if they can get this bot back the other direction. A little duel against SXJ. SXJ is going to mismatch. It's going to 1v2 there versus Nix and Rav, and will not win that one.
Yeah, still, Telacy can't out yet further. Not the end of the world for them by any means. Won't have forward spawns, but we'll be back to contest for them. And on the cart immediately, SXJ goes in and recalls just to make sure they get those better spawns for an extra second. Again, that Johnowich beat still being held on to. Will be able to match Nix's. But the Deadeye and the Consumer actually being online a little bit earlier than their oppositions means the Starbits need to look for a very fast fight here.
So far, Majin just kind of being held at the corner. They're waiting for Rav or Slowdive to get in a better position before they engage. Oh, icav! This just sneaks in, gets a headshot onto Slowdive. Look at Slowdive just had a heart attack. Oh, icav lock it in! Nice 3-piece here for the Cowboy.
Where was this the first half of the series?
Right?
Good lord. Locks in the latter end of Runasapi. A lovely 3-piece materializes from icav. Majin finds his end via gravity. And Telacy will be able to continue to garner distance on the bot. They've just been a thing as well, that fight. Majin fresh swapping over to the Has now. Telacy finally feels like in a good position.
Still, Majin after a brief stint on the deal. So yeah, never mind, that's not working. That was a stick. I don't know if it just hit a blocking Majin, perhaps got the Dockiy or Suzu out. Still, you have Salvers still available for the third fight in a row for both of these teams. Slowdive wins the showdown at the OK Corral against icav. Kitsu's invested, Sound Barrier's invested. 4 support ults up top, and Johnowich just gets mowed down. Trying to get a bit aggressive and aggro into that fight. Ends up getting punished. Still, it feels like this fight has not really gone either direction. Slowdive and Lars dueling through the window. Lars sneaking out a few extra meters, but eventually is going to have to back away and respect the spawn advantage of Starbits.
Slowdive throwing damage in by the bucket load. Made so much easier by the fact icav just gives himself over to the High Noon. Huge mistake. The one that Telacy will be punished for too hard. Respawn back in the fight.
Majin low. Great bubble! Saves one Johnowich and Majin gets melted. Nice play from Lars. Great heads up. You love to see it. Now just focuses that high energy right onto Slowdive. But you know what? The Rav Tracer has been able to go tit for tat. Still Telacy sneak out a few extra meters here, nevertheless.
You got to be worried 10 seconds. You need to get there. SXJ specifically needs to get there. If you do, you've got grab, you've got pulse, you've got the fight in the palm of your hand. But somebody needs to get on the objective.
Actually does get the tactical recall, has to be used to ensure it. Rav trying to go in, drops the pulse, their own recall. And now it's just Lars on this point. Graviton Surge in the pocket. We've got a solid 5v5 on the point. Slowdive looking to cut that down. Drops in with the dead hit. Johnowich gets the kill. The Graviton Surge directly on to Majin, but Rav and Dockiy are now in the mix. Things have got very interesting. Dockiy gets 2. Majin with the leap onto icav. Starbits are going to hold on and fend off the Telacy comeback, taking the 2-1 lead in your grand finals.
That last fight was pandemonium. 3 skulls found in the Deadeye. He drops down to try and finish it off, but a cleanse and some lightning fast focus fire means he's got no chance to pull the trigger. 143 meters, and for a second, Telacy had me believing, but in the end, the time comes through. And this fight, I mean, fantastic choosing from Dockiy. He doesn't find these kunai. Simply put, there is no way that Starbits win this, but as it stands, up 2-1. Wow.
I mean, that was 143 to 0. I mean, like you said, Telacy, they had me on the edge of my seat in that one. But, I mean, it was all Dockiy. I've talked about Teksol's lethality from that Kiriko. But Dockiy with that magical 2-piece. I think player of the map here on Runasapi.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so impressed by those final kunai. You mentioned once more. You see, the beat there just a second late. That was, I think, the big factor.
Yeah.
I think that caused them to lose. I mean, a completion here, a very real possibility. Slowdive.
Yeah, that was almost a 3.5, 4-minute cap.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that close. They were, I want to say it's only 144, I think, on Runasapi, and they were at 143.65. I think the cap is 144 and some change. Like, I think it was that kind of close.
Yeah, there's the cleanse as well onto the Cassidy. I can't believe we find no grab value here. I really don't understand how we lose this. I think if we try and not get creative, we just grab the ground, I think we win. We're trying to, grab the wall, catch, Majin like a pinata, stuck in the Cassidy line of sight. I think is overcomplicating the issue. I think we win that and at least we win the fight. Exactly.
Yeah. It looked like Slowdive might have been able to get caught in it, but Slowdive just goes out like further from the window, right? It's just like, yeah, I'll just walk around that. And then just rolls out. Right, is in the middle of the fight getting kills. So, yeah, maybe overthought the grab a little bit. Hey, you know what? That's a Lars grab. That's a large. Sometimes they're fight winning. Sometimes they're gargantuan. You can't believe it. Other times, not so much.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the way it kind of plays out. If you charge them so fast, you maybe get in the habit of just tossing them out, and this one may be less considered than you'd like. Now, Telacy's turn to pick. It is their turn to ban first. Obviously, it works out for them pretty well on Rialto. Will the same happen again? We'll have to wait and see. But remember, map number 4, you don't have the same options that maybe you would on some other maps. And so hybrid available and push available.
Wait, we just played push. Hybrid Flashpoint, right? No, because we played Aatlis.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're kind of down to the wire here.
You are right. Yes.
Oh, it is Aatlis. It is Aatlis. Okay, what's Flashpoint? It's Flashpoint and hybrid were the two. Okay, we are headed to Aatlis. Let's go. I love this map. I love this map a lot, actually. The more I see this map, the more I fall in love with this map. Very, very close quarters, right? It tends to be pretty claustrophobic. We have very fast fights. We saw the hazards have great effect last fight. Honestly, I wouldn't expect much deviation unless Starvits are going to do something like ban the Zarya. Ooh.
Yeah, it's one of the heavyweight bans we've got expected.
Yeah.
Taking care of the Zarya straight up. That is Lars's bread and butter. And on Aatlis, gonna have to move over to probably the Hazard, maybe the Mauga as well. Telacy, an interesting ban coming through here, actually, with the Tracer ban. In previous times, this would basically guarantee JesperSwag coming in on the Venture, but he's just received no playtime so far. So what are we looking for here, especially from SXJ's hero pool? Good enough on some of the Brawl characters. Reaper, a real possibility here, perhaps that?
Reaper actually very, very good on this map. Obviously very strong in the meta right now. We're seeing a lot comboed with a Mauga. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Majin actually perhaps lean back into that Mauga as well, particularly without the Zarya there to prevent bubbles and to kind of front load the damage. This is an interesting pick. We will see both hit scans. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cassidy versus the Sojourn here. And on Aatlis, I feel it's a lot more close quartered. Could favor icav. Also, it might dissuade that Majin Mauga pick as well. Running into a Cassidy is always painful.
Oh, but also running into a Cassidy, if he doesn't get cleansed, means he's essentially a dead man. You land that stomp, he loses half his HP. What's he going to do? Roll away from you? Just kind of has to take the L. So it is very much a double-edged blade. Normally, you have both the Zar bubbles and the cleanse to kind of get him out. That's why you can keep on playing it. But now you remove that element of protection, and it's unlikely we see Lars lock the Diva to give it somehow back. And so I do think that playing that cast is going to be significantly harder. icav's life now made tricky.
Very good points. And again, that kind of just reinforces my thought that we may end up seeing that Mauga here. Cage Fight also really good on these points, right? Because there's Flashpoint's so small. I feel like Cage Fight just gets a ton of value on this game type.
Yeah, for sure. Cage Fight, I think, is just generally a crazy ultimate, but especially if you can catch like 2 people in, just make them stand there, take the L. I mean, it's insane value here. Watch out if we do see Mauga, as indeed we suspect we shall, for the sound barriers more than anything else, because dropping those into the cage is the best way of peeling yourself out or not. So far we've exchanged map picks, by the way. See if that trend continues, and if so, for how long, because it could be that we just go all the way through to map number 7. Might be that we break it now.
Well, and that would put a lot of onus on that Lijiang Tower win from Starbits, right? Telacy chose Lijiang Tower. That's the only, so far, right? We have a small sample size, but so far that's the only bucking of the trend. Otherwise, every team is winning their map pick. So with that said, if we continue with this back and forth, that opening win from Starbits could be the X factor of this whole grand finals.
What a surprise that'd be. Just able to get it over the line in that absolutely chaotic fight on Control Center, and that might be what gives them their finals.
Which was a 99-99 round 3 fight, by the way.
And it was only that way because we saw such crazy aggro from Telacy, that icav miracle clutch that ended up not mattering.
Here comes that frog.
Ciao, frogs.
10 points to get that reference.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, youngin. Go look up Mitch Hedberg. Fantastic. Highly recommended. He's a stand-up comedian. They've got a joke about, here comes that frog. That frogs are never intimidating. They're always just friendly. You know, you never say, here comes that frog in a terrifying manner. I guess that, you know, you haven't gone up against Nyx and Johnowich, I guess, if that's the case. Because, you know what, these two looking pretty terrifying on the Lucio so far today. How was that for a segue? Huh? It's a nice segue.
Works pretty good. Majin on the Diva will just be looking to mash his face into Lars. SXJ on the Reaper, looking to do the exact same thing with his counterpart. You know, these comps work out as often. This whole setup is played with Amalgam more than anything else.
Yeah.
Different tanks though make it kind of funky.
Makes it a lot harder on Lars, right? For sure. Definitely. Also, we do end up with the opposite of what we expected from our hit scans. Slowdive in the Cassidy and icav in the Sojourn. SXJ tried to shadow step in, just got, boot 10 miles away, ends up by themselves on the point. Rav actually tries to pursue, but you know what? SXJ just hangs tight and takes a free cap. Telacy will be building percentage all through this opening fight, but it's one that they're gonna not have their tank present for.
It feels so bad for Lars, to be honest. Playing the hazard into a setup like this. If I were him, I'd probably just go Malga.
Yeah, there's no way you stay on this, right?
There's just nothing you can do. You're so worried about the damage coming through from Slowdive, Rav, and Majin. Like, sure, you can hit the backline, but who can't? And in the meanwhile, Majin is just going to continuing just cheese gracing your HP. I think this is really quite an uphill battle, and I think we are seeing that so far. But Slowdive as well finding so much more value than icav, be it the Matrix, be it the hero, be it just the sheer confidence. It's doing bits on the cast.
I mean, it was our player of the match there from that first series. Big violent lit, you catch Rav with damage. The wall not a factor though. Rav just shadow steps away and stays alive. icav wins the duel over the Slowdive Cassidy. 5v4 for Telacy. They're going to send SXJ onto the point. Lars is actually taking their time, kind of comes in as a subsequent. I mean, I think I was hoping SXJ would take the aggro and Lars could sneak in. They're actually trying to put some damage in on Nyx, but it's Johnowich who goes down. Downpour vested in. I think you caught at least Rav. There's not a couple others, but I saw a Dockiy Suzu as well as a Consumer Rush in the mix. Majin out of mech, not allowed back in. Death Blossom from Rav, not going to find anything either. Telacy low on health. Oh, and now low on reinforcements. There's a quick pair of kills. Wide at the fade, courtesy of Slowdive and Rav. We're down to, I believe, a 4v3 on the point, and Majin's going to be back lickety split. So Lars, I mean, that was the only pick that you could get that could have turned the tides. They find a kill onto Dockiy to keep things interesting.
The kill's still back and forth though. Rav lights up SXJ like a Christmas tree. 70%, Pingu drop, beat as well.
Nyx is able to get more sound barrier from Johnowich in the mix. Now we've got an icav overclock trying to get the X Factor to break through the sound barrier. Slowdive. Oh, the flash, the fan, the wave goodbye there to Lars. Starbits Hypnos at 99%. Walk away with station.
Close fought, but at the end of the day, it's Telacy the ones who invest heavily, and Telacy the ones who have nothing to show for their spend. Starbits 1-0 up. Simon dies late as well. And it has to be said, the Zarya ban, it feels like, has knocked them for 6. Swapping again, SXJ over to the Genji. Is it better? I guess so, but no Teksol means it doesn't bloody matter.
Yeah, Rav was basically lapping SXJ in that previous fight, by the way. Has almost gotten their second Death Blossom online. SXJ never got a chance to use their ulti. They just got it, like, at the end of the fight. Rav was finding so much more efficacy just because of, you know, Lars is trying to leap in, and so the Reaper is having a field day.
Main out for Simon. Really can't quite decide how he wants to play this. Telacy clearly searching for answers, not finding them just yet. Extended fight with point control, shooting lines. Starbits are loving their life right now. They got so many tools should they want to get involved.
Kitsu taking a big one. Death Blossom out of Rav. You find two. Teksol and SXJ catching the business into the Dance of the Dead. And Rav celebrating. Oh, and even a late stagger there.
And I know we said how Telacy had maybe some more experience than Starbits, and maybe that would help him in the mental trade. What about the flip side of things here, Jeff? They've never actually been the ones to win. Can it be that getting to grand finals, they just crumble under the pressure? Lars is on Sigma now. Johnowich now on the Mizuki. Crouch walking up as to not give information away, but given the spot now, name of the game is making sure Majin is uncomfortable as possible. Chained just purely to stop the flight.
that Mizuki can put out a lot of damage as well. You can't underestimate just the sheer raw numbers behind this support player. Consider rushing out in from Dockiy though. Lars just gets immediately ran over. Look at all the assists on that. They just angle the Kitsu right at the tank and make life impossible. And heads and hats alike will roll here as Starbits are going to move up 2-0 on Aatlis.
They are cruising now. Reached optimum height, and Majin's giving some of that trash talk back. I don't know that. In fact, they're not crazy Raccoon because they just don't look the same on this composition. Nick's caught out though. Nick's low HP, and Nick's removed by Johnowich.
Oh, wow. And the key to Mizuki is getting value out of that chain, and there it is. You not only get the stagger, but Nyx was at 93 to ult. Another chain there thrown on the Majin. And Telacy is finding something with this? I don't know. It's back and forth. It's checkerboard kill feed. But it's the best I think Telacy have looked all map, and it's still, it's still at a nice edge. Still not convincing.
They're allowed to live and take a fast fight because Starbits wants to go and take the cap. Honestly, pushing them would not have been a bad decision at all. Lars was 100 HP, SXJ even less so. Wool needed to use just to extricate the maze safely, but you are getting very close to especially that Kitsune rush.
No, SXJ is in a world of trouble here. Cryo freeze already used. Nice catch! Jono gets another pick here with the music. So that forces Majin back to the point where they're going to get the sound barrier out of Nyx. Look, it was a little slow coming. And icav picks up one with the Jedi. Cryo freeze has been forced here, but with the Kitsune rush on point, it's not going to matter much. And we get finally a good fight and a fight win out of Telacy.
We need some inexpensive ults, the sound barrier far away from Nyx. You'll be able to go mano a mano once the attack marks start coming through from Starbits, and they do find that cap, but not before giving over 54%. That is not a small amount. They'll have just one recontest to stay alive here on Aatlis. Things. Oh, silent. You gotta stay alive, man.
Blizzard's just way too important. Rev's gonna catch icav, Slowdive. Got SXJ! There's no DPS left in this fight, so the Blizzard makes it out, but there's nobody there to capitalize on it. Lars is actually gonna use a disengaged Gravitic Flux to try to see if they can equalize here. You force self-destruct out, but a little more.
You needed more than that. You needed to take care of Majin full stop. On any other tank, that'd work, but Majin just hits Q and gets right back to plank. Last try here for Telacy, else their map pick will blow up in their face. You have to pick a Sanctuary at least for it.
Powerful. Rav just sneaks in behind everybody. Wait, was Rav just invisible? They finally took Rav. The guy Sanctuary is invested, but kind of off the point and in an awkward spot at the back of the fight. Starbits in control at 99%. Telacy, with their hand forced, put 2 on the objective and just try to fight it out here. They will get the flip. Majin in a bit of trouble in the corner. It looks like Starbits. We're going to give this one over. As I said, Shadow steps in for a triple kill with the Death Blossom. Right as I was like, I'm not sure what Starbits are going to do here, Rav says, here, I got a plan, friends. Trust in me.
Yeah, and that's going to be it, very likely. Lars tries to stay alive, but into the Hellfire Shotguns, there's not a lot he can do. Overtime Whip vanishes as well. And Telacy pick into Aatlis and get absolutely slapped.
Oh my, we theorized here that, it could be just the teams winning out their own map picks for the rest of this series. And, would put a lot of emphasis on that opening Lijiang Tower win for Starbits. Wow, this one just took the cake. I think is the most pivotal map so far here in this grand finals, and it's put Starbits on championship point.
What map celebrates them from the championship, as you mentioned? What map celebrates Telacy from another season of looking like the ones to beat and getting beaten?
The bridesmaids. Always the bridesmaids.
Always the bridesmaids, man. You said it. I don't think I quite believe it, but watching this play out in front of my eyes, there's nothing else to say.
There's also a little moment in chat there where Majin trying to recruit icav, or was it Lars trying to recruit Slowdive?
It was Majin trying to recruit Slowdive.
It was Majin trying to recruit Slowdive. It just didn't make sense in my brain. They're like, come on, Slowdive, let's make a team and win Master Division. I'm guessing that's what was said at the beginning of the season. It's the only thing that makes sense on that comment out of Majin.
I mean, they did it. It worked pretty well.
It's looking like it. They're one map away.
That catch onto Nyx is so good, but it just doesn't happen that much. I don't think they expected the Zarya ban. I really don't think they would have went here if they did, and they got absolutely mangled. I think, especially the Tracer ban, really hurts you when you have no Zarya.
I wanted to attack Rav, and kind of didn't think to protect their own tank.
I think they got worked in the veto, to be entirely honest. I think that is why it went so poorly for them. But it also helps that Rav is just doing stuff like this on replay. I kind of expected SXJ to be a little bit better at the hero, but that's not what practice shows. Starbit's now a very difficult choice to make. They have to have a good veto, else they are out. Else they have given over another championship. Last time they at least made it 4-2. This time, now what?
Yeah, I mean, Telacy, obviously, this map pick is on top of the ban. Like, I would expect them to take their time here. This is so important. This is the most pivotal map pick of the entire season for this Telacy squad. And you've kind of lost some confidence after this last one going so poorly.
I was pretty cataclysmic, to be honest. I've seen worse vetoes, but not a lot worse. So
not with the combo of the map pick, right? Going into Aatlis was such a pivotal part there to not be able to protect Lars' best hero. I mean, absolutely known for, uses the icon as their profile pictures, right? You think of Lars, you think of Zarya, you think of Aatlis, you think of Zarya. How they were not able to protect that hero could lose them this championship.
Midtown being picked into ban as well. I assume they'll be going for like a support ban, protect the jetpack cat. And instead, they will do that. Illari out, Bash and banned to hurt the comp in as much as possible. This does mean that if you didn't want to play the cat, then it means your opponent hasn't banned into you, really. It also could just be that you want to taxi icav around on that Cassidy, let SXJ mess around on the Tracer on the ground trade. This isn't a bad gambit from Telacy, but it is still a risk thing taken.
I don't know if I like it. You already had Jetpack Cat banned earlier from Starbits. And once again, we're seeing, I think, Telacy emphasizing attacking their opponent here in the draft phase, rather than protecting their own interests.
Yeah, now you mentioned that cat ban came through earlier. I mean, I'm a little bit more confused about the Illari. It's not super high frequency that you ever see Starbits put it out. It's annoying on this map, sure, but it's not like you're playing against good guys who, for sure, would be whipping that if given half a chance.
Absolutely.
I feel like the threat of the Bastion is enough that you can cause chaos. So maybe, in retrospect, you do want to ban something else, be it just like a Freya to protect.
A Reaper!
Yeah,
ban the freaking Reaper out!
That would work great as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Hindsight, my friend. Hey, you know what? Maybe Telacy have something. They've read something in the tea leaves that we just aren't seeing. I don't know, but so far the tea leaves have failed them. I've got to say, their foresight has been a little lackluster in this grand finals. But you know what? This is your number one seed we're talking about here. All right, they've been doing it right for 10 weeks, and I'm not going to lose faith just yet here, Spen.
Indeed, I feel like this isn't the peak level of Overwatch Telacy can play if they lock in. If they play, even just like they played at Rialto, then they'll be able to bring it back for sure. But Runasapi and Aatlis has been a 1-2 punch. Very few are likely to suffer in Overwatch. They got blasted. And so Midtown has to be a reassertion for them. Not just because, it's match, it's series, it's tournament point, but because I've never seen them take 2 hits like that in a row.
Yeah, this has been extremely rare. One thing to make the gods bleed, but this is Telacy kind of limping a little bit, right? We have certainly never seen them, I don't think, like this.
Not to my knowledge, at the very least.
I mean, just the 3-0. The 3-0 and the only team that's done it is Starbits. But a month ago in regular season is the only time. And taking a look back at some of the history of that series, Starbits won Midtown, which was a Telacy pick, 2-1 in that series.
That series as well, I believe, was a Majin overperformance, doing bits on mostly the Hazard, as I recall. Telacy, not going to be playing against that to start off. Majin actually aping the Telacy composition, mirroring it out with the addition of that Sojourn. Telacy, curious to see what they end up running out with, but very likely essentially the full mirror with icav on the Cassidy instead. Gonna be an uphill battle perhaps from Starbit's Xypnos, but the defender positioning here is so, so good. And making the rotates with the Zarya can be tricky, to say the least.
We're having Slowdive almost deadlocked in damage there on Aatlis. Enormous damage output, leading their team even more so than Majin had, and even more so than Lars did on the other side. Lars, after just looking for a quick hook, will go ahead and back into their signature Zarya, mirroring Majin on the other side.
Like I mentioned, Cass versus the Soj. Early value probably be for icav before Rail comes online. High energy, or high enough energy from Lars means that the frontline trade is going well in their favor. icav makes it much better with a pick on the round.
Something that was eluding icav, it felt like, back on Aatlis. They're finally, they're silencing Rav here. You get first blood. So far, so good here for Telacy. They've even got half of a point already picked up. You can expect a recontester quickly, though.
High key Starbits might be banning Tracer next map if that ends up materializing. Low HP onto Majin, really all the members of Starbits, but they have to make a recontest happen at some point. Telacy backed out so far, they might be losing this.
Telacy got forced out of the firehouse. Now they're kind of scrambling. Half the team is inside the firehouse, half the team outside. Majin is going to go see if they can isolate the two that were outside. SXJ surges out and gets two, including a pick onto Majin. Let's go.
Big 3K materializing. SXJ had a bit of a stinker on the Reaper. Back on the Tracer and shows us how it's done. Fast cap here for Telacy. You mentioned just 1 point taken. Well, they've tied up there at the very least, and 5 minutes to go further. Ults, I mean, a 30%, almost 40 lead on Sound Barrier is going to be an absolute gift. And a little bit on the grab as well. Could be convenient if all comes to pass.
I mean, you can use the Sound Barrier to build up the rest of the grab, I think. You just beat engage and try to run down this high ground. So far, it is a bit of a slow push, despite Telacy having some ults ready. It looks like maybe he's trying to get the other two check marks online. Here's that Sound Barrier I was talking about. We're going to combo it with a Deadeye. Trying to move up. It's Slowdive catches the business end of it. Okay, 4v4 as kisses get exchanged on the point. Things are going to get messy. Rav kind of hiding in the corner. You caught Jono at range. The ambush off the front of the police car. And Johnowich never saw it come and hit that thing from distance. What a Kobe out of Rav.
Yeah, Rav a little bit of civil unrest blowing up the cops. But all okay. Lars, a jumping grab.
That actually catches two. Slowdive in it. Dockiy low. I think just going to survive. A wall grab from Majin in response. Also catches two. Oh, never mind. That was three in that. Everybody low. Lars is able to bundle up Sound Barrier from Nyx, and the fight moves into the tunnel. Lars tried to back away, but they're cut off. The body block from Majin seals Lars' fate.
Wow, Lars gets creative. Majin doesn't need to go so crazy. Just presses Q, and with the beat push from Nyx, Starbits finding the hole. Minute and a half now off the bank. Both teams absolutely skinned. SXJ, the pulse, all he's got to work with, and trying to work through recall, cleanse, two bubbles is an uphill battle. Side rotate actually is pretty interesting here. It will probably be scouted and read pretty fast, but as SXJ can just force cart, if he draws enough resources, it's kind of okay. His team can do what he wants and be up resources as they fight on the high ground.
Niggas draw Rav, simultaneous recalls, and both Tracers kind of retreat to their own corner. SXJ trying to pursue. Rav goes and grabs the Mega from the opposite side. Slowdive is playing here and gets the shot. Beautiful mismatch created. I was talking earlier about one of the best things to do is create a mismatch in the middle of a 5v5. We saw Starbits do that, but a great clapback from icav, and it's looking like Telacy have high ground control.
Yeah, they do. They have control of most face on the map, and Majin isolated. They're going to be excommunicated as well. Drop slow, eliminated.
Beautiful pick. Deadeye will push this cart all the way through the tunnel as Starbits try to regroup here on the back of point B.
Get to that for the recontest. You need to wait for your respawns. You need people to stay alive for the respawns as well. Rav, eyes for the touch. We'll get that creative bubble. Stick though, no good targets.
Dockiy does throw in a Kitsune Rush, but double support ult's available here from Telacy to help fend it off. Oh, less than 2 meters separating them from the cap. They almost got it. Slowdive's able to get one pick here. Grav goes diving into the backline. Slowdive playing all the way back here behind the point. He's going to get forced well into spawn. Now, Telacy get the second point on the board.
When we get a breather, I'd love to see the stats because it feels like Lars is just doing more than Majin in terms of the damage. In terms of the HP trade, he's always got 200 more HP. And a 3-minute time bank means that Telacy has now eclipsed their previous record against Starbits. But more than that, still going to be required. Full completion would be beautiful. Slowdive checked by the silver bullet, but SXJ checked by his opposite number.
Got the head of Lars with that, actually. Here goes just the primary fire. Now we're going to get the overclock. Lars has been isolated. Okay, Lars just goes bubble jumping off of the cars. But Majin still intercepts him. Lars got to grab into the mix that it was just used onto Majin. 0 value. Graviton Surge out of what we consider to be the best Zarya in the region. icav, though, is still able to keep things fun. Gotten a pair of kills into this fight. It's been a quite the do-si-do around the lobby of the Grand Central Station. Still Starbits defense stabilizing here.
What a strange battle that's been taken there.
Weird.
I don't know how you ever kill 2 there. Not in a million years would anybody else but him do that. And now, by the way, 6k damage from icav leading the lobby. Just ridiculous from the Cassidy. Walk up with your Deadeye and at least force a strong response from the opponents.
Somebody in my chat saying, what is Rav's pulse bomb rate and kill damage? They've been ridiculous. Rav has been laser guided with these pulses. SSJ was trying to show us something special there, but little outthought there. Massive grab in from Majin. That's the stick, but the Suzu was perfect. What an exchange! The falling stick lands, and Teksol still manages to get the Suzu on top of icav. That was wild from all parties involved. Majin with 100 charge and Dockiy with the Kitsune Rush. Can go ahead and immediately throw that over the point. Empower Majin with that. That is extra bubbles and a lot of tick rate. Still, Teksol has the ultimate to answer. Majin is low. So is Lars. Lars backing away, survives at 50 health. Seems like neither one of these teams can get an advantage in this fight.
Beautiful ebb and flow there. Lars survives on 14 health, I saw at one point, but still kicking, still fighting. Less than a minute left to go. This might be Telacy's last time of asking, but they have a lead on the grab. Slowdive, though, almost another overclock.
Okay, SXJ blinking with the force to make got that recall force, not able to dislodge Starbits from that important pivotal side. icav right now just fending off Rav to make sure they can protect the backline. Lars has what they want. 84 charge of the bubble to work with, goes in, doesn't like it. It's the OC immediately forcing them right back. Slowdive slides in aggressively and catches icav. Beautiful shot. You're going to back up all the way towards the Telacy spawn to see if you can just spread these ranks out, split them apart like Swiss cheese. That's Johnowich clapping back.
Yeah, those are really sloppy deaths to give over, but somebody needs to touch, and it kind of has to be SXJ. 3 seconds, you need to go now. Triple blink in, we'll be able to get the overtime which started, but where's the second touch?
Gonna be close. SXJ themselves has to go back and get another one. You're buying time, see if you can get Johnowich and Lars back into this fight. SXJ sacrificing themselves to make that happen. The Johnowich sound barrier is in play. Telacy with some big meaty shots on the Majin, but Nyx has a beat of their own. That Deadeye is not gonna last anywhere near long enough to find value. Grab from Lars, just nothing. Nothing. No one left to follow up on it. Too little, too late.
Yeah, Majin knows it too. He lets them know. Still, strong progress for Telacy. No, Starbits kind of strutting their stuff, by the way. I genuinely don't think that Rav has missed a pulse. He's like a heat-seeking missile. Ridiculous. But that was like a solid, it feels like minute and a half of perfect ebb and flow in that fight. Grav, there's a beat, there's a pulse, there's a cleanse, there's a disengage. We both walk in as we charge Kitsu the last frame.
That was insane. That was such high-level Overwatch. It was so... This fight, that was so unbelievably good from both teams.
I mean, both teams, I feel like, deserve it to stop that fight. It's ridiculous. Another look at the stats here. Only 2 deaths from Teksol staying alive, 8,000 damage for icav, but Slowdive actually almost breaking 10k. Not even that many eliminations. He's just sitting there and ruining the enemy tank's day.
You just make it so difficult for Lars to do anything. And that's gold damage. Gold damage and one of the lowest elim counts. I think that's something you don't see very often.
I guess it works out like that occasionally. It's curious to see materialize, though. Glad to see them having fun at the very least. Still a very achievable defense now set up for Telacy. icav, you'll note, on the Soja now, of all things, wants to match it. Starbits Hypnos, though, could still take FACEIT League Season 8 right here.
Tomix, you legend. Tomix in my chat goes, Majin, epic. Nyx, goat. Dockiy, noob. Damn it, Tomix. Don't make me laugh. I'm trying to cast here.
Looking for Tracer. Ooh, taking a bit of a risk as Simon, but allowed to back out. No rail connection, but no recall as well. Lars is low HP. This could be a lightning fast cap if they don't stable him.
Oh, and Lars is good. I mean, icav's going to get forced out as well. Lars is scrambling. He's just kind of holding in front of the fire truck. It feels so precarious. Has to run up into the subway car to see if they can get something. Bubbles used, Suzu used, and Lars still just gets melted. Even though icav got a trade while all that's happening, you cannot lose your Zarya on this defense and expect to do anything.
Yeah, you need another kill here to overcome that tank advantage, and it's simply not manifesting. Lars on the hazard. Very interesting here what Telacy have in mind, but they need to get onto this card. They will have a recongestion, but the odds for it looking slim.
Telacy go opt to just try to stabilize on point B, make sure they can get a good solid setup. Lars is in a bad spot. That was looking a bit awkward. Took every cooldown he had just to try to make it back to safety. And I mean, still, the team won't get out as a whole. SXJ down in this fight. And we got a couple ults that are available coming up for Starbits.
Yeah, that we do. Can see how they look to use them. But Telacy will be able to match most, if not all. The only issue is that tank ult. Those soldiers getting their spots in line. Maybe just open.
Miss on the pulse bomb from Rav. Continue rushing play from both teams. Lars going to get aggressive and Majin gets caught. Very important first pick. I mean, fight's still scrambling here. Slowdive's going to go ahead and pop the overclock. See if they can bring this back. Johnowich is late to save Lars from that OC. Dueling with icav's overclock. Feels like Slowdive. Never mind. I thought Slowdive might have the edge. I was wrong. Sort of mistaken. But look at this clapback. The grab from Majin actually delivers Starbits an important win. This is down to the wire. Teksol gets the kill. No shot. Telacy hold.
Again, pandemonium in the fight, so back and forth, but when all is said and done, Telacy, the ones in control. Majin decides that the Zarya here, no bueno, over to the D.Va. We've seen this matchup work so well for Starbits in the past, and they've got a sound barrier as well. Johnowich, no such thing, so we need, again, a Soj pick, and icav hasn't been so great with me so far.
Sound barrier. Go up to the high ground. Lars puts up the block. I'm surprised you stuck around there as long as you did. There it is. icav low, and indeed finding zero value with the Soj swapped in this fight. SXJ in a bit of trouble. Does manage to get one, but they're recalled, I mean, just into the thick of it. Now having to escape down to the low ground. You do dodge a Rav pulse, and SXJ actually pulling a lot of aggro and staying alive for a significant amount of time here.
High value from the Tracer, but the fight's not over yet. Maybe now it is, as icav takes care of Slowdive. Can't now stop. Majin is in a predicament. What do you do here? You're stuck. You know 5 people are going to go towards you. Do you run back, trying to draw resources back and live? Or do you just take the reset? This is it feels like Catch-22 Kobayashi Maru. I have no idea what the right choice is, but Majin has decided to extend.
Well, you do pull some aggro. Just staying alive back here. You force resources from Telacy. It's just going to be timed just right. You know, perhaps Starbits can find a shot. Slowdive indeed does. With their attention turned, Slowdive to the high ground gets a butte on to SXJ. 3 lasers perfectly placed out of the railgun from Slowdive. Lars is able to find 2. Wait a minute. Lars dropping in, keeping things interesting, but not able to stop this card.
No, they will have recontest for it, but not too much. Johnowich taken care of. Recall out from SHA means that he won't be a factor, but much more in this fight. But they are all going for it. Trends now here. 3 members alive. Pulse is good. The tank is at least back.
Oh, and that kill onto Johnowich, I think, is what really will eventually get this cap. If Johnowich doesn't die at the very beginning of that recontest, then SXJ doesn't have to stay in front of all of that gunfire for so long and might even be able to mark Rav, who's able to get in and get that pulse. But at the very beginning of that fight, you get that kill onto Jono, and that was the difference maker, I think, when it was all said and done there.
Oh, tanks back to spawn, I do believe. Majin. He's the Zarya out, and we'll just decide to narrate it straight up, yeah. Walking forward heavy now is Rav. 4 ults for Telacy. Starbits did at least have to spend for the recontest, but 2.5 minutes now separates. Oh no!
What a shot. Teksol's really made a case for like best Kiriko in EMEA Master Division this season. I swear. I mean, you're hard pressed to find a more lethal Kiriko.
Polish phenomenon. This time, buying some extra time. Clock swing happening from icav. What can you do?
First shot, you do force a disengage. You're going to continue to chase here. Lars with a ton of charge as well. Ooh, good read from SXJ, making sure they don't leave that back door totally wide open for Rav to get free meterage. Overclock, excuse me, that was just a charge rail gun from Slowdive, missing the mark onto Lars. Consider rush invested here from the Telacy defense. Johnowich and Lars immediately light up the feed, and you catch Majin and Dockiy as well.
Exit frags here. Lovely to find, and it will materialize. Nick's the only one to make it out. Still standing. The issue is, though, obviously you spend your opponent's stoat. Starbits looking to find ult advantage sooner rather than later. And if you die here, your chance that getting a proper recontest is slim to none. So finding value necessary. Lars getting that beat down. And that grab necessary.
Kitsune rush, and Lars still about 10% away. The Kitsune from Starbits puts this into, you know, a must-win scenario for Telacy. They've got to be perfect from here on out. Starbits have gotten close enough to that box of victory. One fight win, I think, could secure the map. 75 seconds left to go. Plenty of ults to work with. Slowdive trying to find room to pop this OC. Sound barrier now in play, but Majin is down. Telacy with a huge advantage, and Lars now has that grab ready to go. Not even going to need it. They're going to win this fight very swiftly and hold on to that important grab for that final fight for the map.
Perfect there from SXJ. Doesn't find the kill into Slowdive, but noticeably does force the cleanse. Forces Dockiy's attention. Means that Majin trying to go aggro in the front line simply isn't allowed. Majin can't charge towards that grab that they kind of need. And so as long as Lars catches them out early, Starbits will be so far on the back foot as to make this map unwinnable. Lars, though, still has to land it. This is by no means won yet. Oh, nice.
Slowdive immediately melted out of OC. I mean, one player grab, but so high value in that you get their only ultimate off the table.
The kills it will be pristine. No chance for 20 seconds. Majin close to that Graviton Surge. Nick's won't have a sound barrier for it. In fact, Telacy will just need the clock to find value. icav with it online. Majin, no bubbles, no HP early fight.
Double support ults being invested simultaneously. Overclock in play from icav. Slowdive returns the favor. +1 for the defense. We're in OT. Final fight for the map. Potentially the championship if Slowdive continues to play like that. But Lars is able to bring him down. And the Kitsune rush here is just going to hold. Telacy aren't done yet.
No, they are not. Just testy here on Midtown. But they're able to find the hold. They're able to find the score. And now 3-2. They are close to restoring parity. We said 3 in a row needed to find that victory. Well, they found 2. Okay, curious to see what they've got up next. Well, found 1. Slowdive, by the way. He's still just crazy. Like, we're running out of some crazy things to say about him. I'm not even going to comment. Your eyes are telling you all you need to know.
Yeah, well, what more can we show you? What more can we show you? I mean, an absolute feed up. An absolute feed up. Wow. Hey, I mean, you know what? Starbits, you know, thought that they might just going to come out here and, you know, be able to finish off Telacy, win 3 maps in a row as they had done previously. It's not going to be that easy. Telacy are able to match the high-level play we're seeing here in one of the best grand finals I think I've ever seen. Wow, I mean, what just any level of play we saw here on Midtown was jaw-dropping.
Both sides on the Zarya was the closest match I think we've seen anyone play in a little while here. I mean, here, Majin just kind of isolated. You see, no cleanse, no resources, beat late, and then immediately to grab the overclock as well. Fantastic decision-making from Lars. Just entirely takes a huge tool of Starbits off the board. You find perfect value with yours. I mean, this is the stuff of absolute beauty. Good lord.
And we questioned whether Telacy might have thrown this one away in the draft phase. We were worried that, maybe they were getting a bit lost in the sauce. But you know what? They had something spicy cooking up for us. Can they keep it going? They're going to have to win 2 more if they're eventually able to claim their very first championship ever. We'll see what happens. When we come back, it's map 6 and a Starbits pick. We'll see in a minute.
FACEIT League Team Finder is getting an overhaul to help you build or join rosters to start your competitive journey. We are moving beyond instant joins to an application-based system. Captains can now define the skill level, region, role, and practice time. Draft your team description and application instructions to find exactly who your squad is missing. Share the application page link on social media to start receiving applications. For players looking for a team, your search no longer has to get lost in a social media feed. Simply apply to put your profile directly in front of captains, show your motivation, and give teams the context they need to see why you are the right fit for their team. And for captains, review applications with the team, chat with candidates, and organize trials to find your perfect match. Discover all the new FACEIT League improvements at fce.gg/FLS9blog.
Telacy have been the eternal bridesmaids here through FACEIT League, and it was looking like they just might come out with a yet another second place finish, but they dig deep and hold the line there to take their pick of Midtown, to force a map 6. Can they do it again? Can they do it on a Starbits map pick?
We'll have to wait and see, but before we get too excited at the comeback, I do want to remind the viewers at home that 4-2 was where they previously fell against the eventual champions of Season 7 Jaeger. So they've been here before, they've been this far before. It's getting one step over the line that has been the impossibility. Esperanca, as good a choice as any, in my opinion. Zart no longer bannable, Tracer unlikely to be banned, and so you kind of feel comfortable just running it down on this mirror match that has been working out largely in your favor.
Right, we're kind of getting into the end of this first to 4 series, so a lot of bans have already been used. Kind of put you in an interesting spot, right? We've seen very powerful bans invested from Starbits, probably the 3 most impactful as far as the Zarya itself, and then the 2 heroes of the Castion comp. So it's going to be a Reaper ban, which is intriguing to me because Rav had enormous success with this hero back on Aatlis.
Well, I think the Lucio ban basically guarantees Castion coming out. I think Juno Break is going to be an issue. Possibly you could play it, but you're quite worried about a tank just jumping on you. I think Castion much more likely from Telacy. But I think you are right in that the Reaper ban is curious. I think Starbits probably feel like because the Tracer was banned up by Telacy, they want to play into it more. Even they just kind of weren't expecting the Zar ban. With Zar still on the table, I feel like the Zar Reaper could be something to write home about, perhaps. But you are right, these bans are getting quite in the weeds. That often happens when we get to map number, kind of 7, towards the business end of these series.
I'm very curious. And also, I mean, maybe we see the Mauga or something. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what Starbits had in mind. Typically, the Reaper has been used to break the Mauga. So having that banned out, and then you could put Rav back in the Tracer and try to use the Mauga as the counter to the Castion. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued what we have in store. Honestly, it's pure speculation. I don't really have a good answer for you, friends. Like, we're getting down to the wire. We may just end up in more of the same, right? We may just end up right back into core with, Zarya's in play.
Yeah, that, well, we can't do that again. No Lucio.
Oh, fair. Yeah, with the Lucio bid. It's such a wrinkle. That is such a thick wrinkle.
Like I said, you either play Juno Break or you play Cat Lucio. Those are your, or Cat.
Yeah, those are the only options.
Yeah, setups. I mean, it's a pretty curious one that we'll see here, but really curious to see what we have in mind. I would imagine the Castion, like I said. I think Juno Break can be a target at the kind of paces we're playing at. It might just explode, but all we can do is wait and see. It really is that simple, because nobody in their right mind is really playing double flex when Tracers like Rav and SHJ are a Roman.
Exactly. I was going to say, of course, the only third option I could think of is double flex support, but that doesn't make any sense here.
especially not on this map, right? You look at
Right,
a Circuit
exactly,
Royale or
exactly.
something, sure,
Going
you
in
can get away with it.
Esperanca.
On Esperanca,
Right.
if you play Circuit Royale, you're either reinventing the wheel from first principles or you're wrong. And there's not really an in-between. Here, I think, would probably be more on the wrong side of things. I think, as we previously said, there are only 2 available options for the backline choice because of the Lucio. And I think I'd be pretty surprised if Starbit started playing Bastion here and now.
Is the Bastion the secret weapon? Is Telacy just going to like roll out? We finally get something completely different. They're finally able to play the Bastion. And I mean, they found success with it. We know they're one of the only teams here in EMEA Master Division that have used it at all throughout this season. You know, most teams around this region have completely avoided that composition. So that may be the secret tool. That might be the secret weapon to push this over the line. Like, is this the cinema we've been waiting for?
Maybe a map 7. I mean, on the cards, I gotta say, Jeff, I feel like I've only got the really banger games. Can't stay FACEIT League. I mean, if we get 10 maps, it's just in just 2 games.
we're already at 10 maps in.
Oh, I guess you're right. I can't do maths.
Yeah, we're already at 10 maps in.
Should be heading in just a second, though. No more trying to figure out exactly what the play will be able to tell with our own eyes. Esperanca coming up. Will Telacy finally be put down, or will they be able to force us all the way to the end?
Slowdive at 16, icav at 16,000 damage there in that last map of Midtown, but it was actually Slowdive who had gold damage at 18k. Insane damage output from our 2 hit scans. And I mean, once again, I have been loving this matchup. I feel like they've just kind of gone tit for tat all day long. And with the long sight lines, you know, and that kind of the walls and stuff on Esperanca, my eyes are drawn to them again. It wouldn't surprise me to see either of these heroes once again come out with gold damage.
No, absolutely not. I think they have been lighting the server on fire whenever given the opportunity to. SXJ is hovering the Sierra like if it thinks there's a rat's chance in hell he ends up playing that. Yeah, get on the Bastion, man. We know what you're up to.
We know what you're up to.
Interesting there on the double flex, actually. You can get away with this a little bit more when you are playing into SXJ Bastion. There is no Tracer to hunt you down. But still, Lars could be an issue. See how things play out here as we run out on Esperanca.
So yeah, but we did curiously end up with a double flex, so it is going to be the Juno Curie. This was the exact comp I had in mind when I was thinking about double flex. It's kind of a lot of value and an incredible amount of sustain out of a Juno and a Kiriko. And then, you know, you don't have that SXJ Tracer to worry about what you're talking about. You're saying, hey, you don't play double flex if you got an SXJ Tracer in your face. But, you know exactly where the catch is going to be, in the sky.
Shot invested, not connected. Matrix expended, and the nade is pristine. Slowdive eats it. Lars there to find the follow-up.
Oh my. Majin was trying to chase SXJ down early, and SXJ just sticks with it. It's been forced back a little bit, but it's just a 1v3. Majin put themselves into a bad spot.
Nothing you can really do at that point. SXJ and icav both do fall, and the sports will be allowed to extricate themselves. Johnowich not booking his way back just yet for the pickup, but the car can't move that far with all these losses we've taken. So Starlets, they do lose that first fight, but not in a bad manner by any means.
Finger in on the high ground. Looking for be a little entry frag here. Here comes those reinforcements you're talking about. Telacy do not, get past the choke, so not really any significant progress as far as the bot's concerned. Lars holding middle ground, both tanks just kind of diva towards each other at the moment. It's really this match we're keeping an eye on. SXJ swings all the way around the tower and guns all pointed at the Majin tank. That's going to be cooldown using the back up in and wait for that Kitsu. The Kitsu is now in play here from Dockiy, surging out towards mid. Majin to slide into the other room. It doesn't overextend this time. Does not get caught in that 1v3. It's going to be an artillery strike out of SXJ, and it's that Teksol lethality reared its head again.
Yeah, Teksol, fantastic. Dockiy not able to repeat that from the other side of the lobby, and with the Kitsune rush, Telacy have found their second fight win. This time, much more cleanly. They'll be able to push forward significantly further now. Starbits as well do spend their Kitsu. I'm a little bit worried about the orbital ray though. That ultimate is so powerful, and you just don't have the same tools to counteract it that you would in more standard compositions. If you can't kite that, you're just going to be taking the L, and you've got the Deadeye as well. So the shenanigans, the SXJ and Johnowich can get up to significantly limited now.
Overclock from icav, which is going to try to preemptively hit, but you got to be cautious. The Slowdive Deadeye is currently channeled. Ooh, it's trying to find the Cashin. Actually, it's going to be an errant shot, just free firing. That finds Johnowich. Majin there with the finish. The Cashin is gone. Slowdive will come up with a second kill in this fight, and that's going to be enough to give Starbits their first checkpoint, or at least to steal the bot back away. Excuse me, and prevent the checkpoint, rather.
Yeah, they hold the orbital ray as well. Again, that's an issue for you. Catnap in this composition as well, on this map especially. Not many great targets, not many great places for environmentals, so Johnowich just has to find the disruption. And the issue is, you know, dropping your Bastion, looking for a target to bring into your team. They could have run in the Bastion. Speaking of Bastion running in, doing exactly that. Damage insane. Final blows yet here.
No, but you got Suzu, you got the entirety of the defense matrix out. Next, we'll go ahead and throw in the orbital in lieu of no cooldowns. You catch Lars before they're able to get completely out of the fight. Lars does have that self-destruct, and we'll get immediately right back in mech. Starbits picking up a little bit of ground, but Majin and Rav are both low. Slowdive forced off that high ground by a disruptor shot, and here comes this exchange to make it even more unappealing. Something like that. Rav goes down here in the exchange. Majin uses a self-destruct. +1 to Telacy here in the fight. Majin fortunate to get back in mech, protected by a Deadeye and a Kitsu. Slowdive even getting a kill from that Deadeye. And Starbits, now dangerously close to the checkpoint, have already taken the lead.
They might just cap it here. There's not really a chance to recontest. Telacy reroute to a different area of the map. They have to wait for their respawns, they feel. And even though they play the ult trade well, there's nothing they can do to actually close out the fight. Telacy now back up. Starbits going to really struggle to push into this space, and in a bit of a pickle, here's Majin. Runs out to Matrix eventually, but icav actually with another open onto Rav.
It's such a huge pick. Wait until the defense matrix is gone. Got everybody corralled inside that room, and then icav just shooting fish in a barrel. Catch a Slowdive here for their second of the fight. Wheels down from SXJ. Oh, now we're taking it to the sky. And see if you can find any exit frags. You got one. Can you get the other support? Yes, yes you can.
Lovely jubbly. Try and find the exit onto the Tracer as well, and the nade connection makes it likely Rav, however, will be able to extricate himself from the jaws of the Flying Bastion. Now you can take away your opponent's forward spawns, threaten for some of your own. Ults now most certainly in your favor. Starbits, if they don't find a pulse pick, they don't have many other options.
This ends now.
I mean, icav so dangerous from this high ground. I mean, we'll just force everybody back, and that's the checkpoint right there. You don't even really have to connect if you're
good kill.
A huge kill indeed. Catch a Slowdive from over the top. Artillery strike thrown in, adds extra health and extra lethality. Finds Dockiy.
See in the driver's seat once more with the lead. Start in their side. They only use DPS ults here, so they still have the all-important Kitsune rush to try and battle through what Starbits might bring to bear. That being said, they recognize with double flex support and the sightlines as well that Starbits probably just have that for the moment and back off.
Will be a Teksol kit to start this off. You're able to beat both of the Starbits supports to their ultimate. Slowdive is going to go ahead and pop the Deadeye. Protects that D-bag. Oh my! Slowdive gets two. Teksol and icav were trying to pursue Majin. Majin positions the mech right in front of Slowdive. I don't think they ever saw the Deadeye being channeled.
I don't think they did, and even if they did, there's not a lot they can really do about it. They already swung so wide, they just had to stand there, wait for those skulls to accrue, and hope you can trade it in time. Simply doesn't happen, and so all the while as well, with the bot being stolen, and Starbits have undid a significant amount of progress, and the lead that Telacy accrued is looking very, very fragile at the moment.
Fight for mid. Lars is just going back away. They give up that central positioning, and subsequently the high ground over to Slowdive and Starbits. Majin's already jumped near the windows, but what a shot! Like it, icav catches Slowdive from the low ground. SXJ just gets airlifted into the backline, chasing the Juno. Nick Slow is going to go in and pop the orbital ray inside that small room. It's instant heals for everybody, and Nick's and Dockiy game picks. It's the backline striking back giving Starbits the player advantage here in a pivotal fight with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go.
Lars, gonna thank his silver line if he's dying on the bot. No chance for a stagger. Lead, though, very likely just gonna go over straight here. The Diva being respawning, you know, this late in the game. Not ideal whatsoever. In 2 minutes, you can't be flip-flopping on the lead. You need to be encroaching on it. You need to be building up your momentum, building up your ult bank. Simply not going to happen, but Lars actually able to get there in time.
Dockiy in a Russian play versus the icav overclock. Did you hear that being popped? And Slowdive immediately catches the wrong end of it. I love how icav is kind of playing to that hallway until the Kitsu is gone. Majin is demexed. Rav is taken down. So icav delivers an important win here, and Telacy are thinking their lucky stars are able to protect that lead. The mere 3 meters.
Yeah, it's still a lead though. At the end of the day, it'll get you the win as long as it's not contested. Telacy able to extricate themselves from the jaws of death. Starbits spent heavily in that fight. They gained nothing from it, just the dead eye, but it has been lethal before. Telacy, plenty of tools. Down to a minute and a half though. We said it before, you need to conserve your ult bank.
It's such a huge play to win that fight. And now we're going to get, Telacy piling on more kills. They got 4 check marks to work with. That fight could be one we turn around and look back at if we end up in a map 7. But you know what? Job's not done here for Telacy. They've got 1:03 to protect this meager lead. But icav coming up with some important kills here in this exchange.
Yeah, fantastic value from icav. But increasing the lead once more. Telacy, though, aren't particularly interested in seeing how far they can force it out. Teksol, 17 HP. Almost goes down for Silver Bullet, but friends expended early, and it's mostly all right. Nothing but a beating heart as an extra adrenaline to show for it. Splash. Deadeye. Titan.
Jumping down, trying to follow up on Lars. Actually, will get enough of the DMX to force out the self-destruct and get the kill. So Lars immediately taken out of this fight. 23 seconds to go. Starbits could claim the championship here if they can win this out. But Dockiy, and with Dockiy catching icav, that's a good start in that vein. Starbits are going to win this fight out flawlessly.
They die on cart though, which means that I believe they will have time for a recontest. Overtime spawns are going to be an issue for them. Still, this is going to be a sketchy fight. Ult's coming online for Starbits means that Telacy, the earlier they go, the better chance they'll have. Touch does need to come through though.
Final fight for the map, potentially the championship. Next with an orbital, I'm looking at Teksol with the Kitsune Rush. Teksol immediately getting through their Kitsune into play as Exchange drops the artillery strike right on top of the bot. It is a kill both ways. Lars catches Slowdive. icav in the mix though with an overclock. Gets 1, gets 2. icav is the hero of Telacy needed. Sends us to map 7.
Oh, down to a fight once again. But from the heroics of icav through the miracle working of icav. And as you mentioned, we're going the whole distance. It's a good day for map 7 in Overwatch. Something about the anniversary maybe, but this matchup between Starbits and Telacy has not disappointed one bit. Remember the last time they played, Telacy kind of sweep this, only the map going against them, and after that they look dominant. This time though, inseparable.
I mean, both previous series have been fairly one-sided, one way or the other. And here in this third and final matchup of Season 8 between your number 1 and number 2 seeds, we have gone the distance. Telacy looking to win 3 maps in a row to secure their first championship in the history of this roster. A roster that has basically been unchanged since Season 3, and they fought their way up into Master Division way back in 2024.
Yeah. And they've been stuck there forever since, right? They've had strong placings basically the entire time. They've always been one of the best. But being the actual best, that since eluded them. 1 map away from doing exactly that. The best result this court has ever had. I mean, it's got to be in their heads. It's got to be in the back of their minds, right? With this,
I mean, they've been top 4 literally every season. That they've been. You were the one that pointed out to me beforehand. Like they were 4th place, then they got 3rd place, then just last season they got 2nd place. And not the first time that they've gotten second place, mind you, but like they've always been top 4, literally every single season, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. All 4 of those seasons, they've had a top 4 finish, never able to take the crown. It feels this could be their time, but Starbits are no slouches. This has been very hard fought, and it seems like it has taken everything Telacy has had to even get us to this point. What do they have left in the tank? And they're going to have to do it on a Starbits map pick.
They are, but you are a little bit less worried at this stage in the game. A lot of the punish maps they would have used early on, a lot of the punish bans especially, they will have used early on. Sure, Starbits can create an advantage for them, but we saw how that works when they tried to play there on Esperanca. No bueno. Again, you've used most of your good bans. Yeah. So what do you have if you are Starbits left in the tank that you think can give yourselves a leg up over your opposition? That's what they've got to rubbing their heads together right now in the highest pressure map pick, very likely, of their careers as of yet. But the choice has come through Suravasa to end it all. What a map.
Okay, and I love this pick because you're trying to minimize the effectiveness of the Cat Bastion combo just through map pick alone. This is not a super strong opportunity for the Cat Bastion to find value. It's the speed of being able to get your Bastion around the map that's so important. Suravasa just doesn't lend itself to those angles and to those flanks getting high value. It's all about the fight on the point. Sure, I mean, map control and angles are certainly still important, but you don't get the same value that you do on a map like Esperanca.
I do have to say, I feel like these are the most non-factor bans we've seen in a hot second. Sinatra ban coming through first. I guess it protects some of your DPS options that you might be worried about being banned away, but I don't know, that was a particularly high likelihood. Wu Yang as well. We're not playing Wu Yang on Suravasa. It's not happening straight up.
Yeah.
So
we're like 7th ban for each team. They're just out. This is fine.
It's like when you run out of the tiles in the Scrabble bag. You're still just trying to figure out what's going to happen. Anything you can use, anything that might find value, you just chuck out there, even if it's not necessarily barn burning. And that's definitely where we're at, I think.
Well, and limiting other options. I think the sim is a good like, we'll take away your plan B, right? We may not be attacking your like initial comp that you were likely not to change off anyway, but we can take away that plan B just in case.
Yeah, it's a likelihood that it might come out, at least. Not very frequently. I would say the chance for Wu Yang here is about as frequent as like a Tomathan upload. But it's not zero. Well,
it's not zero. It's not zero.
It's not zero. It's the practical side of things here. But I think we might be getting almost ready to head into waiting on players to finally take a deep breath, I think, because as we said, we've been playing for a while now. I think we started our lower final at 7:30. That's when Starbits started playing. It's now 11:15 UK time, so about 4 hours of matches. Starbits have had to play ridiculous amounts of maps. You gotta say, maybe just exhaustion is like creeping in. Telacy haven't had to play the same amount. They haven't had to adapt to the same amount. Maybe that might be what gives them the lead to finally get that chip.
And that, I mean, it's such a good point. It's been 4 hours straight with hardly any break or downtime here for Starbits. And that's going through a highly stressful lower bracket final where they were fighting for OWCS qualification, right? For at least the promotion relegation matches. So they've already kind of gone through the big adrenaline up and down of having to play a super high stakes match. Okay, you hang on against a very tough opponent and good guys. You're able to fight your way into those promotion relegation matches. You're able to fight your way into these grand finals. But man, I mean, you've gone up and down in the adrenaline spikes probably a couple times, and I agree, the fatigue might just be starting to set in. Starbits have got to stay focused for one last map.
I mean, playing hard comming, adapting, being this locked in, it's not just like you're playing a ranked game, you're talking to your friends, you're chilling. It's hard, it's mentally exhausting, and there's a reason we only play one match a week, you know, usually. There's a reason scrimbooks end at 2 hours long, and it is because of the tax. So Suravasa now, we'll be seeing, so heading into the map for the last time today, at least for EMEA. Players in the lobby getting hungry, bro. I am too. If you guys want this to end, you're like, lock in, make it fast. I'm gonna
I like how the Gator's hungry. Fred is also hungry.
He just like me for real.
Ready for battle.
Comps locked in.
Fade me.
Bastion once again. Bastion.
You know the pigeon's hungry. Again. Oh, I'm sorry. You're actually talking Overwatch. I'm still talking. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Ooh, boo, pigeons. No, I'm chill with pigeons. I miss them. Curious if Slowdive actually plays the Venture. Surely not, right? Surely not. Surely you don't deviate from the hit scan. Yeah, map number 7. Cassidy is what it's going to be. An attempt to check the Cat Bastion. Didn't work out last time. Final time of calling. Telacy versus Starbits. Let's get it on, man.
Map 7. You couldn't ask for anything more. Your number 1, your number 2 seeds. One map to determine the championship. Telacy pulling out the X Factor, the Castion for only the second map in a row here. Only the second map in the grand finals. It won in Esperanca, and you're able to get SXJ into this important high ground. Kind of just oscillating back and forth here between the two high grounds. Put pressure on the front door where Starbits waits.
Indeed. When you're informed, there's nothing you can do to stay on the objective, and so SXJ probably doesn't expect kills here. Really just wants to get as much cart progress as possible, force Majin to take the damage, or allow the flip.
Majin tried to come contest, but he's held off the point. They're able to hold the window, but not keep a toe on the objective. So Telacy with a vital opening cap to gain percentage throughout this first fight. Trying to move in, and once again, put pressure on the front door. A little push and pull out of SXJ. Now getting yanked all the way back. And look at the amount of space that Majin has to cover just to even close the gap against SXJ. Slowdive has managed to move on to the point, and Starbits steal away control of the objective through all this. Neither team has come up with a final blow here in a hot minute, but there you go. Right as I say that, Slowdive catches the business into the Gatling gun.
A place you very rarely want to be. Imagine the next onto icav, sure, but you're 2v4 right now. Your chance to kill is minimal. Your chance to stagger significantly higher. Dying in the cart at least removes that from being a real possibility. And SXJ finds the cleanup. 38% will be eclipsed basically instantly. It's Telacy still the ones in the driver's seats. Telacy the ones a little bit faster on ults, but Starbits do have stronger ones. Rav adapting no more on that Tracer. Decides Reaper is going to be his next port of call.
It's a nice move from Starbits to find percentage to that fight. Otherwise, they've just lost market already. Because they're able to force Telacy off and get percentage without even a single kill. That gives them another chance here. It gives them a second team fight and an opportunity for Rav to find value in the newly swapped Reaper. Deadeye out, looking for perhaps the Castion flying around. You'll force everybody from Telacy once again off the point. Will this one be long enough for Starbits to get Cat? No, we get a much quicker re-engager from Telacy, given Katsuni rushes thrown in from both sides. Yeah, I said Katsuni. icav with an overclock from backline. Go ahead. I'm sorry, that was my bad.
I made a proper phase there. icav with the clock, able to take care of Majin. That seems like it will be it. Lovely try from Starbits, but unfortunately their best effort today just wasn't enough. Market in favor of Telacy, and they start out the final map of FACEIT League Season 8 EMEA with a win. Bomb, Catnap, both online, but environmentals can be tricky, especially into a comp like this. Best targets Nyx, but Slowdive would be pristine. Remake for Lars allows to get a little bit more aggressive than otherwise he would, but the beat engaged from Nyx is a terrifying prospect.
And this is one of the Castion does not seem to do well in the ult fights. Even with the Kitsune rush, it can be hard for this composition that tends to like to be very spread out to converge in on it. They did get good value off that previous Kitsune, they were able to hold market. But the Nyx sound barrier could be back breaking. We'll see if timing is good. We'll see if Starbits can get value and be able to run in and get a kill while that is active. There we go. Ooh, nicely done. Huge value on the sound barrier indeed. Just as the assault configuration was running out, just as your team was on the back foot, boom, Nyx just propels them right on top with a huge beat.
Perfect timing on the beat, as you mentioned. Takes the momentum entirely away from Telacy. Starbits on the turn and able to win first fight. DPS ults in favor for you. Kitsune rush as well. You've got good tools here, but the bashing can come from any which angle, and the Reaper is going to struggle to market.
Actually, with Lars in their fight. Slowdive drops the Deadeye. Here's the beginning of the fight. Not able to find anything. XSJ's avoiding. Use Artillery Strike as an ingress tool. Try to move on to this point. Dockiy with it. Oh, but never mind. The Kitsu, the Death Blossom is shut down. I thought the Death Blossom Kitsu could have just been magic here, but no. Telacy do not believe in magic, apparently.
Absolute disaster here for Starbits. Nothing in the fight. Every tool invested. 67%, yeah, sure, very nice. But you want more to show than that, right? Telacy, the ones now defending. Bastion, again, can appear from any which angle. icav at clock from maybe a more predictable angle, sure, but no less lethal.
As icav just comes like leaping up. Wait, icav just got dropped in from the sky. That was hilarious. Starbit's going to put their back up against Coast. This is a very defendable spot. Rav with the Shadow Step onto the point, but still Telacy sneaks away. Or you're going to go and pressure back towards the backline. They do get cap in this as well. Teksol is able to find a kill on the Slowdive. It is traded. Fight for the Coast. Seemingly just back and forth. Nobody really in control. That was until Rav gets a pair, putting Starbits on top here.
It's so back and forth. Evidently, Lars thinks it's winnable, but even that baby Diva form at least allowed the remech Hellfire Shotguns though. Softening up a one tap from Rav, and Lars takes the reset. 75% left to go. Can Telacy touch the cap? Maybe, but as 5, surely not. And pushing deeper is Starbits. They want to find this exit frag, or at least make sure that Johnowich is a different bloody postcode.
Yeah, just trying to deny the touch. They will. Honestly, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that that Telacy tried to fight that as much as they could. That was a desperate attempt out of Telacy to try to invest in that previous fight. And I mean, that's the kind of thing that can completely swing this entire map. We're seeing Starbits continuing to reap the rewards of that desperate investment there from Telacy.
Indeed, they are. Rav looking to be the ones to do it, in particular Starbits. All 5 check marks, and as we mentioned, their comp plays them better. First control here on the objective, first cap. See if it materializes in a second as the Bastion goes around the world.
Good rush invested on the point. Artillery strike in the middle of all that. I mean, look at nobody was using the Kitsu's there for a moment. There comes Rav Shadow stepping into the mix, bolstered by a sound barrier, and 3 hit by the Johnowich Catnapper. Can there any follow-up? No, it's not quite the same as an Earth Shatter. Starbits right back on their feet, guns in hand. Majin getting 2 through that exchange, including your highest damage dealer in SXJ. icav, of course, always a threat, but not in this fight.
I mean, Starbits just converged on SXJ. They're like ants on honey. They knew what they wanted from their meal. They knew they could get it. Because of that, about 50% at least on the board here for Starbits. They eat the nade, sure. And stuck on the point maybe, but they still feel like they're the ones in the driver's seat.
Goes down immediately to the start of the fight. No Death Blossom in this fight. That was exactly what Telacy needed, although they do lose their Bastion. We've got icav with an overclock. Does significant damage to Majin. Trying to protect the self-destruct. The Deadeye out there from Slowdive, and somehow Majin gets a kill on the icav amidst all of that. That is wild to me. Soon as they're used from Teksol just to try to get themselves out of stage. Starbits are looking fully in control here, Spec.
No more catch, and SXJ's gone over to the Tracer. Sure, it's one of his best heroes, but shows your plan changing. That's never particularly inspiring. Lars on point. Doesn't try for the nuke reset, just takes the L. Which means he's just staggered himself on for what, really, is my question. Back over to the Bastion. I don't know. I feel like Starbits might have the ball rolling in their favor a little bit too fast. Now, maybe Palace, it's better Telacy can reassert themselves. They don't have any other runway.
As Telacy just outthought themselves here. That's the big question. You don't really have a lot to work with, but you know what? Bastion actually is the strongest point for the Cashin because of the walls of the Palace. You can position SXJ in a very safe spot, and anytime, Starbits try to walk through the choke, that's when you're going to pop your assault configuration here. You can right now, SXJ is kind of sitting in recon. Now we're going to go ahead and get the assault configuration popped. You got to get a kill off of this cycle. SXJ needs to put somebody in the kill feed, and they're the ones getting chased. Majin through the sky pushes SXJ back through the choke. It's going to be a self-destruct and a consideration vested here. icav making good on that. Gets an important kill, finding Majin, finding Slowdive, and Telacy will find first cap here. But man, it was looking a bit dicey there for a moment.
It did feel hairy for a second, but ultimately playing slow so your ults find value isn't a bad strat. Majin was rightly punished for going way too deep, in my opinion. And first cap for Telacy. Need to hold it, however, and there's a significant bang that they have to be worried about flanking with the Bastion form, though.
That's that speedy rotation that the Cashin provides, but No value. SXJ, I think I actually kind of got pulled a little too far. And the back on the front line before they can really start firing. Slowdive was down to 1 health, but then just topped up Dockiy. Gonna continue rush into this fight. We got a 5v5 here for Control Palace. Nixon's gonna get the beat into the mix. Bow shotgun pointed directly at Lars, and icav is taken out of their overclock. Slowdive wins an important matchup. It gets a kill on Johnowich as well. Starbits are gonna wrestle Control away for the final flashpoint they need to take this crown.
Lars, oh, the stagger. Oh, stagger's got to hurt. All you can do is run back to his team, force him to kill him, or even try and escape. Try and swap on and off to reset the mech. But it feels brutal if you are here. That's about 30% you're getting basically for free. And Starbit still plenty of ults to invest in these upcoming battles. This might be it. That might be them punching their ticket for their championship.
That's just one. The back catcher Slowdive dead on it. Benched. The cat gets the business into the Deadeye, and Slowdive finds both of the catch. And the only good news for Telacy is it was quick.
Yeah, really, the fact they get to reset is a small silver lining. SXJ decides the Reaper is the choice, mirroring essentially your opponent's composition. Problem is, they've got ults, you don't. This Kitsu from Teksol has to be pristine.
Suzu's pretty good.
Time.
90% on the board. Teksol gets the continue rush into play. Gets somebody onto the point. Johnowich is dead. Big Death Blossom. Trying to seal the deal. That might be the one. You're chasing down SXJ. Oh, and Simon just won't survive. Rav turns their attention on the Lars. The final kill needed to steal the crowd away. To plant your flag across the top of the mountain of EMEA Master Division. Starbits are your Season 8 champions.
No way in hell. Starbits, 4-3. Drag it over the line. They play, what was it? 11 maps today?
Yeah, 11 in a row.
11 in a row, and they still squeak out the win on the 11th. They make it through the lower bracket. They make it through the lower bracket, I should add, after being kind of destroyed by Telacy. And in the end, they're able to find that championship. What a day from them. What Overwatch they've played. Slowdive, my man, was on fire.
On fire. We were talking about icav being the best hit scan in the region. I think Slowdive may have taken it. I think Slowdive may have taken it. We have people in chat talking about the second coming of Quartz. Right? Like, whoo, we were talking about, icav being a miracle worker. icav turning water to wine earlier in this series. So what does that make Slowdive? I don't even know.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I don't know.
I mean, a champion. A downright champion.
Oh, spare a thought, though, for Telacy. Another season. Another so close. You tried your best moment. But losing it in a manner this close, yeah, I mean, that's got to be more than heartbreaking. Because you know full well they could have had it if they played it just a little bit better. Like a scenario 2 goes the other way. But not to be from them. A fantastic season from them. They look like the best team. They look like the ones to beat. I said I would be surprised if they didn't win, and here I am, jaw dropped.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, jaw on the floor. We talked about it yesterday. Telacy were looking so scary, and that 3-1 upper bracket final was less than 24 hours, or a little over 24 hours ago, right? That was yesterday where Telacy were so dominant over this Starbits squad. And Starbits, not only do they overcome that deficit, they overcome an enormous amount of fatigue. They overcome the Cat Bastion composition, and anything that stood in the way of this Starbit squad, they either, cleverly circumvented it or just hit it head on and broke that wall straight down. Nothing could stop Starbits Hypnos from taking away this championship. They are in the stars. I mean, what a meteoric rise here from Starbits this season. And your number 2 seed will turn around and topple the Kings here in Season 8. Unbelievable. What a match. What an unbelievable match.
What a day of Overwatch as well.
What a day.
I mean,
happy birthday, Overwatch.
Happy birthday, Overwatch. not only do we have over in Tokyo, it goes map 7, we do the exact same here. An absolute banger for us to see. I thought Good Guys would make it to the finals, to be honest. I thought Good Guys would make it. I thought Telacy would win over them, but my prediction's totally wrong. Starbits just lights out. And I want to say, I know we've been like putting all this respect onto Slowdive, but Rav as well has had a day. An absolute day of play on the Flex DPS, be it the Reaper or the Tracer. He was untouchable. Some of those sticks were pristine. The Reaper was going over the line, right? Just dumpstering Telacy on their map pick of Aatlis. And getting that Blossom to close out the match. Rav can pat himself on the back because this win he has earned.
Yeah, I mean, is this Rav? I mean, I don't know who we'd give player of the match. MVP of the championship. I mean, I think you can make an argument for Rav. You can make an argument for Slowdive, clearly, who had 14k damage, was your gold damage leader in the lobby there in map 7. Only about 400 damage ahead of SXJ, actually. Not even icav. It was SXJ and who was closest to Slowdive's damage output. But you can certainly make an argument for Slowdive as MVP of the championship, as well as best hit scan in the region. Majin 23-4 in that final map 7, had a spectacular day as well. I mean, it's hard to decide. Even that backline, Dockiy and Nyx were outstanding as well here today. I mean, I have a hard time choosing an MVP from this series, I will say.
Oh, absolutely. But I also want to highlight some of the players on Telacy who also played fantastically. I mean, how many times did we see icav find a terrible situation and turn it to their favor? SXJ on the trace was still so powerful. And of course, Lars on the Zarya, simply untouchable when he gets the chance to play his game. I think it's such a deserving roster for a win as well. It's absolutely heartbreaking that both these teams can't win, but today it was Starbits who were able to find the upper hand and was able to find their win. But realistically, I feel like if we go to a map 8 and a map 9, I still couldn't say if either side would get a dub.
What an epic day. Let's take a quick recap look at how this entire bracket went down. An epic championship for one of the most competitive seasons we have ever seen here in FACEIT League. I can personally attest to that. It is Starbits overcoming all odds. They had to beat your number 1, your number 2, and your number 3 seeds to get here. They had to fight through the lower bracket and take down OWCS veterans and good guys to earn a spot, not just in the championship, but in OWCS promotion relegation matches as well. And we will see your Season 8 champions fight for a spot in the big leagues later on this week.
See? Obviously, Starbits and Harmony playing against anyone's legends and Team Peps. Those are matches I am quite sorely looking forward to, but those are going to be in the future. Unfortunately, that is the end of Season 8. Season 9, though, still around the corner. If you want to play in a series like this, if you just seen what these players have done in the lobby and want a piece of the action, basically Season 9 signups are open right now. Please do sign up because plenty of time to do so with the qualifiers May 31st. Registration, in fact, closing in June 10th. You've got plenty of time to find yourself in shape to match up against Rav, Slowdive, and the rest.
And even if, hey, you know what, you can't quite make it at the very start of the season, roster lock has been extended here in Season 9 so that, our teams can finalize just the right perfect fit of players. So you know what, you can use the brand new team finder, go find yourself some new friends, go find yourself some new colleagues, fight your way to the top, and perhaps we're casting you right here on the Master Division Grand Finals in the future. But they'll also coming up in the future, we have one less champion to crown. It's going to be it for EMEA. We're closing the book on Season 8 here for this region. But you know what? There's one final chapter left to tell. North America will return. We're going to take a little bit of an extended break, get set up for that. When we come back, we're sending one more team into the promotion relegation matches and crowning one more champion. We return with more FACEIT League Championship Sunday.
The match is about to start.
Sorry I'm late. Let's do this.
Widow's up top. I'm on point, dude. Genji, you want Nito? Okay, guys, lock in. It's overtime.
Let's stagger.
On me. Yeah, I'm dead.
Down.
My ult's ready.
Xander.
Dead.
Pushing, I'm pushing.
No, pull back.
Hold car, we're down. That was so bad.
Yeah, we suck. Yep.
Let's try something new.
Diving back line.
No, I'm dead.
Widow's down.
Matrix, back
Oh,
on.
no.
I got pulse bomb.
Back on cart. Come on, back on cart.
Going in.
Stop the cart. Stop the cart.
Oh my god! Ah! Go to world! Did you see that?
Making their OWCS World Finals debut, please welcome to the stage, Team Phoenix!
Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.